Last time on Desperate Attune, the crew were preparing for the long-awaited hit on Jasper, leader of the infamous mercenaries that had terrorized Kethrys. Bidrohi and Saeeda figured they couldn't keep an operation of this size under wraps, and it was in their best interests to give the cops advance notice. And so they arranged a meeting with Captain Peregrine, the Falconer, and Ruxama the Ferris, where they presented a case for allowing the Rising Moon School to do crimes. They argued that one powerful gang controlling Bunderves was better for the overall crime rate and the economy than several small gangs duking it out. And they requested that, should the authorities need to bring the hammer down, they should do so on one fall guy, Bidrohi, rather than the entire crew. Illustrated with pie charts and lubricated with a bribe, it was a compelling argument, and the two arms of the law agreed to terms. With their backs covered, it was time to plan the assault. Luckily, they had Jasper's second-in-command, Omid, locked up in their holding cell. Mushrik offered him a deal. If Omid gave up helpful information and agreed to be their future ally, they'd make him leader of whatever remained of Jasper's Jazelchis after the crew was done with them. And the ever-opportunistic Omid was forthcoming. He told them when most of the Jazelchis would be away from their headquarters, he told them where Jasper had a panic room, and he told them that a sauna nearby, the Naughty Naiad, where the Jazelchis often go to relax, shared its maintenance tunnels with Jasper's headquarters. And so a plan came together. While Mushrik and Bidrohi would lead an aerial assault, the rest would sneak into Jasper's headquarters through the sauna. When Jasper would inevitably run to his panic room, they'd be there, waiting. Post-recap soap here to let you know that today's episode's thumbnail features Shortville Das. He'll be relevant later. Thank you for listening to Desperate Attune. You can support us with a one-time donation on Ko-fi or for $1 a month on Patreon for access to bonus content such as post-game banter and a newsletter from Tree.
Uduasha City, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flame, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Ending. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks. And that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama. So, we have set up our score, and I have a question for Free and Salty, or for Saeeda and Clem. We have established that there are 2 super badass lieutenants, and you're catching one of them at the Playful Turtle with a lot of the staff. And my question for you is, it seems to me like Sulphur Sam the Grenadier would be much less dangerous hanging out in a spa, because I don't think he brings his grenades to a spa. So my question is...
That's good.
I think he should.
Yeah, well, he probably has some amount of armament, but I think it's reasonable that he is his most dangerous when heavily armed. So my question for you is quite simple, really. Are you catching Sulphur Sam with his pants down in a fairly harmless state, or are you in fact catching Meredith Fitzgerald with her pants down, who is, I think, considerably dangerous whether naked or clothed? Like, she is the sort of person who can fight with anything. So, my question is basically, is Meredith very, very dangerous, or mildly dangerous down here, or is Sulphur Sam not very dangerous down here, and Meredith is very dangerous up there, if you see what I mean?
I think that we should take care of the problem that is more difficult when we have all our resources in front of us. I think we need to get rid of Meredith.
I also like the image of Mushrik and Bidrohi taking down Sulphur Sam.
Yeah, because then Sulphur Sam is on guard duty and armed to the teeth. So
it's a very major thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, the Naughty Naiad is, as mentioned, like a steam room, a sauna, a spa, and I think it's one of those spas that's like, it's a massage parlor, quote unquote, but everyone knows it's a brothel. Things happen in there. And
especially when the Jezelchis are there.
Mm-hmm. And so I think the vibe of the interior is it has this wooden floor with many slats in it, and it's kept constantly warm from like steam drifting up from below, which both keeps a humid and like good for the skin temperature, and also serves to make the entire area like steamy and hard to see in. There's screens for privacy, and yeah, it's very like Turkish baths kind of vibe.
Good for the skin. Is Luxana here?
Yeah, she probably frequents it. Probably not here right now, though.
But probably not right now.
Yeah, you didn't involve her as a rival who could potentially get involved, so
yeah, we don't want to set up a scene where like, and maybe we'll do a crime, but look the other way when it happens, and she's literally there.
Yes, so
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Clem, Saeeda, and your entire gang. I guess you just kind of enter. Like, I don't think you rush in through the front door because there's no point, right? You could open the front door and just look like, oh yeah, we're a large party, we're here. The staff would know that you don't have an appointment, but people from the outside would just be like, oh yeah, I guess a company booked the Naughty Naiad or something. So, I think your control position here is that you can start by pretty much just walking in. No one's going to stop you. You can appear to be customers, even though you are like visibly armed if people look closely at you. And what load are you in on that note?
I think I will be in light load. I will clarify for listeners and myself that I have still not dealt with the fact that I am dancing basically all the time, with my feet at least, and so therefore I cannot use my demon-edged sash as like a supernatural weapon until I solve this problem. And so I think that I'm on like load, and you see me maybe enter before everybody else does, and I just look like a little old auntie. It's fine. Nothing to be scared of here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what about Clem and your gang? Well, your gang is the load doesn't really matter for them. They're going to enter with weapons. But what about Clem? What load are you on?
Yeah, I think I've gone for light as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to be climbing up a bunch of pipes. Probably not a great idea to have everything on you.
Yeah. So you both are going in light load, which means that you perfectly well blend in. You look like people who are going for a spa day. And what you're going to see pretty much immediately is, so this place has private rooms which you can pay for to meet with one of the professionals, quote unquote. But it also has just areas where people can like lounge, like sit and steam for a bit, get a regular massage. And you're going to see like 3 or 4 of the Jezelchis. They're not wearing their uniforms right now, but you recognize them as battle-scarred veterans. And they are just out in this public room getting massages and chilling. And I think, your controlled consequence is you can just move around as you please. No one is suspecting anything. But Meredith is not among the people you first see because she is influential enough that she would get a private room. But you know that she's here. I think you've done your homework enough that you probably spied on like who entered. So Meredith is here, as are 4 more badass people. And those 4 more badass people you can just see as you enter. No one has suspected anything yet, and what do? I should also point out that these 4 people are being attended to by like some staff who are...
So there's like another 4 or 5 people in the room, right? Like
giving out massages, serving drinks, etc. So you're in this room with like 8 people, Meredith not among them.
I'm going to look at Clem and say, do you want me to start a distraction and you can go look for this Meredith, or do you want to just take care of these guys now?
I don't see why we need to involve these 4. Because, and I'm going to tick off unload for the bandolier that I took off a leech a couple of scores ago.
Yeah, you still have that. The cloak broke, but you kept the bandolier. Yeah.
Yeah, and the bandolier has a couple of doses of standstill poison.
Yeah, you have no way of replenishing this, but you can have it for now.
Well, we've got a workshop now,
Yeah,
and I suppose I can do a long-term project to sort this out.
Yep.
But I've got it, and I'll find somewhere to put these. I've got a gas mask. You get the hell out of here, and they won't be a problem anymore. Standstill poison in the atmosphere. It's a pretty effective tactic.
Yeah, I think that actually what I'm going to do is, if it's okay with you, Prince, I'm going to now flashback to having come here maybe like a day or two earlier and figured out where this room would have been. And the reason for this is I want to be able to like send some kind of signal to the people working here that they need to get out now.
Okay, which room are you talking about? The room where the steam is coming from, or the room where Meredith would be?
The room where the steam is coming from, because that's the one that's about to be filled with standstill poison, right?
Okay. So, Saeeda, you can absolutely do this. You can roll controlled standard as a flashback. I'm not going to bother with a cost here. It's just a roll.
Yeah.
We'll see if you get good information or if there is some consequence. This is kind of establishing things.
Yeah. If it's talking, it will be more like sway, right? Like trying to figure out.
I think it would be more consort if you're trying to get this information.
Okay.
That seems more appropriate. It can be sway, but I think
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because the other action I was looking at was survey, but I think you're right. Like, if I'm doing some kind of signal, then it better be consort. So I think it's fine. I'll roll consort, controlled, standard, and like I think here it is important to kind of like basically, if Saeeda can avoid like collateral damage, then they should try.
Yeah. So success here would mean what exactly? Knowing where this room is, or knowing how to send a signal to the staff? Probably the latter, right?
Knowing how to send a signal to the staff.
Okay. Yep. Control standard to have some sort of way of warning the staff.
3.
It's a failure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what has happened is the people here are tight-lipped. They take care of each other. They look out for each other. They don't much talk to outsiders, especially not when it comes to security protocols. And you will learn something as a controlled consequence here. And this will improve your position to risky. You guys did not bother looking into the proprietress of
no, we didn't.
Of this area, but it does have a madam / an owner. And this lady is a woman named Nabila Ansetara. And no one knows what the fuck this means. That's not a demon.
What did you just say to me?
Sometimes people style themselves in fancy ways. So yeah, Nabila Ansetara is in charge of this place. And as a veteran Blades player, you know why this is bad.
Yeah, I know why this is bad.
Don't worry about it.
I can't even resist now. It's too good.
Don't worry about it. It's just their name.
Yeah, it's just their name. And this lady does not let her staff talk to outsiders about the protocols.
Okay. Well, you know what? I made an attempt. I think that I'm politely rebuffed. I say, well, too bad. And like, it's a good faith attempt. That's what matters, right?
Sure.
Right? Yeah, so whatever, yeah.
Good. So you have no way of communicating with the staff, really. You know that this proprietress runs a tight ship here.
Yeah.
And this was a person I wrote down. I wasn't sure if they were going to be relevant, but now they are.
Yes, very good.
Clem, as for where the steam is coming from, where would be an efficient place to place this poison? The answer is obviously downstairs, right? There is this slatted floor with widely spaced planks from which fragrant steam wafts up, and everything in here is perfumed. So it's humid, it's warm, it's fragrant. It hides the smell of bodies very well.
It's the smell of body.
Well, I mean, the smell of like sweat and people, not necessarily dead bodies, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, if you want to like poison the room at the source, you will need to get downstairs somehow. But again, no one is particularly paying attention to you. They just think you're like waiting your turn, so you can move around relatively freely.
Yeah, and I imagine downstairs it's also going to be where the maintenance tunnels and such are. I think, well, Saeeda, I think we have our point of egress. I'll dispatch the Giselle cheese that remain, and I'll catch up with you.
Very well. I must say, Clementine, I do hope that those who opposed you earlier were not foolish enough to follow you here. Yeah, I am going to hold my breath, I think, just out of sheer paranoia. I'm not even in the room, but there's a part of me that's like, don't breathe this in. And I want to make my way to where Meredith is with my cohort, who is, I guess, it's Pilot, Bold Murad, and Mona Darling, and Bhejal? No, Mona Darling is with the breaking in crew. No, that's us. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. You have the whole crew, which is Bold Murad, Pilot, Mona Darling, and Pejal. I think that's...
Yeah, okay. The problem... Sorry. Yeah, no, Pejal's the problem. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cover him. Okay, so yeah, I just want to make my way to where Meredith is. And I'm going to tell everybody, just because she's unarmed doesn't mean she's not going to be dangerous.
Okay. Sure. I think it's some sort of action to get your crew further into the private rooms. And are you talking your way into the rooms? Are you sneaking with the crew? How are you doing this?
I actually think this is a prowl, which Saeeda has 0 dots in, but our cohort are skunks.
Yes, so it can be a group action with them. However, their scale works against you here because these are private rooms. These are not normally rooms that 5 people go into. So I think what will happen here is that you will be at... I still think it's controlled because this is not spinning off your previous consequence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That just established that there is some danger in the proprietor, but she's not necessarily going to be around. So I think you're controlled limited by default.
Okay, that makes sense.
And limited is going to be, you can sneak out of this room and into the corridor where the private rooms are without anyone asking any questions, but that's it. Then you will need to do further work.
So maybe what I want to do then is I will look at Pilot and I will say, you come with me because decreasing the scale should get us back up to standard effect. And I don't want to bring Mona with me because Mona might... Saeeda is a bit concerned, actually, that Mona might bottle it. And both Bald Murad and Bhejal are more of a risk than Pilot inside the room.
Okay, so you're just trying to get you and Pilot into this private room with this extremely dangerous woman.
Correct.
Yes, very good. Cool. Controlled standard it is then. I think this is a thing you can accomplish.
Yeah. So I will roll my prowl, which is 0 dice. And that's a 3. Makes sense.
Yep.
So I will take
you
one
fail
stress
and take a stress. Yeah, and
and
then
I would
die
roll
for the... Yeah. And they have 1d because they're elite thugs, but not elite skulks.
It says elite thugs, skulks, but it's because they're elite thugs and they're regular skulks. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So they have 1 die.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why they rolled
2 stress
2 dice,
and fail.
but it was this is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is bad throughout. You roll a 1, a 2, and a 3 are your total results.
Yeah.
So, what happens is that you and Pilot try to approach this back room, and one of the staff actually steps out. And this is not a staff member you'd even previously seen. I think he was hanging out behind a screen. He stands up. He extends a hand at you, and he is an exceedingly large and handsome man. And I think in context, you realize that he is, in fact, one of the sex workers. But he is also more than capable of being a bouncer himself. And he says, sorry, that's reserved. But I can give you a treatment out here. Look, I got a bed free, looking to loosen up some tension. And he raises his hands, and this is a controlled position, so you've not necessarily been caught intruding, but he is going to be your personal attendant and take care of you. And hoping to get paid.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm look at him and say, oh, sorry, my mistake. I was looking for someone to help my friend here, Pilot. She's I'm afraid it's not all the way down. And it seemed like this was where the really good masseuses work. And I don't know
I'll
if you
take
know,
that.
there's somebody called Meredith. A friend of mine said that this is where I should come. So
Okay, you're setting yourself up for another action, I think, here. Trying to
yes.
get
So basically,
information.
again, yeah, and what I'm doing here also is I'd like as a devil's bargain to then, I guess, lose Pilot to getting a massage.
Yes, Pilot
but
is going to have
maybe-
just a great day, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yes, you can take a devil's
but,
bargain
like-
to lose Pilot. That's absolutely fair.
And maybe what I want to do is say, because I said Meredith told me to come here, I want to be led into Meredith's room.
Absolutely. He will massage your friend and show you where your friend is.
Yeah.
That makes sense if you
Yes.
succeed.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
sounds like
exactly.
what you're doing is a sway.
Yeah.
You have a bonus die.
Risky standard. I hope.
Yes, I think it's risky standard at this point. Yeah, there is
Yeah.
risk involved. You have tipped off the staff. You're
I've
not
tipped
necessarily
off the-
suspicious.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that in my mind, it's like it's the controlled consequence of these caught us, and the controlled
Yeah.
consequence of there is somebody called Ansatara who runs this place.
Yeah. They pile up. So risky standard it is, but you
Yeah.
have a bonus die for giving Pilot a free massage.
Oh my god!
A 3, a 2, a 1, and a 1. Interesting. Okay. So what happens here, I think, is this man pulls out his broad, wide arms, and he takes you under one of them, and Pilot under the other, and he forcibly leads you away unless you resist it. He's going to pull you away from the private rooms, and he says, I know Meredith very well. She's a good client, and she's not to be disturbed. And you can talk to her when she comes out. Lovely lady. But for now, focus on me. I'll get one of my colleagues for you.
Okay.
And-
I would like
Yeah.
to cut away from this absolute shit show now, because I don't
Uh-huh.
know how to roll
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 7 dice!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
8 dice!
Uh-huh.
Without a
So-
single success.
The risky consequence now is he has called attention to you. He has called over
Yes.
more staff to tend to you, and I think he is talking loud enough to actually tip off the owner that there is something weird going on, because Meredith is very private and would not invite a friend to join her
I
in one
think
of her
what I
rooms.
want to resist here is
Mhm.
I'm happy to go with him. Well, it's a risky consequence I could potentially resist fully, but basically, I want to at least resist calling attention to the problem.
Yes, I think that part you can resist. I was about to say, you can't fully resist this consequence of being pulled in the wrong direction, but you can resist it being suspicious.
Yeah.
So I suppose by just acting a little bit like a confused little lady, going like, "Oh, I didn't
Yeah, I'm
know
just.
he."
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
know. Yeah, you know, it's so weird. I've just moved to Duasha, don't you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great.
Okay,
Okay,
roll resistance, roll resolve, and then let's cut to Clem, who is
Okay.
sneaking about.
5. It's 1 stress. I mean,
You
what
take
was 5 3 rolls earlier, huh?
Yeah.
Fine, whatever.
So, golden-eyed Clementine, you were in a hot, steamy room, looking for a way down, I guess.
Lovely. Yeah. And there was a door. Correct.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There is a staff entry door. I think actually you can see some stairs behind it, but I think it's probably just a curtain. So it's not like it's a door that locks necessarily, but it's obviously in a place where it's very visible, right? Like people can, not necessarily that it's guarded, but people, nor is it in a secluded corner where you can slip in easily unseen. So you need to time it a little bit.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's all good. I think Clem will sit down for a moment and just observe the movements of people going around. And then once they've got it in their head, move with them, not against the current, to slip behind the curtain and descend with the rest of the cohort down into the maintenance tunnels.
All right. So you're pulling along Murad, Mona, and Pejal. Fantastic. So, what sort of action would you say it is? Survey or prowl or?
Prowl makes sense. I'm going to argue for finesse, since
Finesse?
this is subtly misdirecting
Okay.
people through it. Kind of more of a, I hate this term, social stealth, moving with the crowd rather than against it.
Fair. So I think rather than have your position be worse because you're trying to smuggle in a lot of, or effect be worse, sorry, your position is worse because you're trying to smuggle in a lot of people. It's risky. I think if it were just you, someone could easily be like, oh, sorry, that's staff only. But now it looks hella suspicious. So it's risky. And, yeah, with your finessing and social stealth and everything, considering Saeeda set up a distraction, kind of, I think you're at standard effect. I think you can do it.
Saeeda kind of set up a distraction. Fantastic.
Not on purpose, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So risky standard finesse, and you can make it a group action with the cohort if you want. They have one die to this, they are Skogs.
Fantastic.
I was briefly away, but I do want to point out, it was several rolls. So, I'm not going to take any lip from you, young Clementine.
Several rolls to make a distraction, which is very effective.
Yes.
All right, I'll roll for myself first, so I'm not doing anything. That's failure, so I'll take a stress.
You take a stress. And then roll one die for the cohort. I guess you can just do a d6.
They did, so I take a stress, but they're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Aaron's not here.
Aaron's not here, no. We're using the water bearers here, so they are investigating this area, and that's a thing you can potentially pull in. Considering you're about to screw with the water supply. But, so, there is a success here, which is, are you going in first, or are you, like, ushering in the cohort first?
I think I'll go in first.
Okay, very good. So then your consequence here, unless you resist it, is going to be a lesser effect of sorts, which is that you are split off from the cohort. Like, whoever goes in first, you have a perfect opportunity, and you have told the crew, like, go in when this happens. But then someone just happens to come along, because, you know, life is messy and chaotic, and people don't follow strict patrol schemes. Someone comes along to, like, restock the towels or something, and you can wait, if you want, for that to be finished, or you can go ahead by yourself, or you can resist the consequence. But for the moment, you are on one side of the curtain, the crew and the person restocking the cohort and the person restocking the towels are on the other side of the curtain.
And I would like them on this side of the curtain with me, so I'm going to resist that.
How are you resisting it?
I think it's having a good enough sense of, yes, this isn't a military operation. I can't rely on people being exactly where I want them to be. So this is what we do if we get separated. You will get here as soon as possible.
So it's insight? Yeah.
Completely unstressful. I do this all the time.
Yep. So, you lose a little bit of time still. It's not fully resisted. And so I've ticked a clock called Meredith Gets Dressed. And
good for her.
When this is at 4, she will be in her uniform, which is more than just clothes.
I bet she dresses sick as hell.
I would like to now establish that actually what Meredith dresses in is a clown costume.
Yes.
She's a professional clown.
Major hit.
I featured this. Clowns are online. I don't know.
You're not wrong with that. Like,
yeah,
it is major hit. Sorry, go on.
What I'm trying to establish is that each tick of this clock, because she dresses like sick as hell, means something sick as hell happens.
Yes,
you just imagine
absolutely.
I see. Okay.
Fair enough.
This is the dagger that goes underneath all the other daggers.
Yeah, if this clock finishes, you will no longer be catching her with her pants down, which is bad, because she's scary. But, very good. You and your crew, like, they slip through, they wait for the person to restock. Probably someone, I think Pejal pulls a half-effective distraction maneuver. He goes like, oh, sorry, that pipe sprung a leak. And the person has to go and take a look, and they slip in. And you find yourself at a wooden staircase, which is very, very damp. The idea to make things of wood here was not smart. So there's like a lot of dampness, and if they didn't constantly steam the place, it would be very moldy, but I guess that helps a bit. And yeah, down below is a set of boilers, which water's not boiled here, of course, it comes from the well. So there's a set of pipes to like pump it in through misting valves that have been set up by the water bearers at precise locations. And there is, of course, like a main valve you could open and shut, and also potentially places where you could get this straight into the water supply and sprayed up into the room. If you knew your way around complicated pipes, because it's kind of a mess down here.
Well, that's a good thing. I do kind of know my way around pipe work and other such ubiquitous clockwork and electroplasmic devices around the city.
Yeah.
Because I am going to do such a thing. I think Clem pats Bejel on the back. That's a good job out there for the distraction. Now, find the maintenance tunnels.
Yep. On it.
Good
He
kid.
says. And I think your cohort will spread out and look for the maintenance tunnels. And I don't think there's a role here. They are just going to find them. You know that they're here. There may be obstacles, but they will take some time. They will find them. Or actually, I will let you choose, because I think it's always interesting to offer a player the choice. Either it takes some time and I tick the Meredith clock once more, but they automatically find it, or you can have them roll and potentially succeed. Potentially, find it faster, but with some risk.
I mean, I'm happy for Meredith to get dressed.
Yep. So I'll tick this clock again, just because it takes some time for the cohort to search. And Meredith is now halfway through putting on her clothes, which is a weird thing to time, but that's what we're timing at the moment. And yeah.
You can't rush these things.
No.
She's like one of... She's a butch who just takes a long time to get dressed, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing while your cohort is searching?
I'm going to dose the valves with my standstill poison that I've got in my bandolier.
Yeah.
So it sprays it up into the room above.
Yes. Okay. So, straightforward here. This will have a standard effect of poisoning everyone in the room. This is what standard effect means in this context. Like, if you push it to great, I suppose it will mean people get a greater dose. But for now, this will be enough to knock out staff and visitors alike. It's risky because you are tinkering with machinery you don't fully understand, and there's piping hot steam in here. So there's definitely real risk. It's risky standard, and there is an obvious devil's bargain, which is if you can look up between the slats, I think, and see where this guy is taking Saeeda. And so you can take a devil's bargain if you go ahead and don't care about that and spray Saeeda and Violet as well.
That's incredible. You got to do it.
Or you can not take a devil's bargain and, be a bit more careful and wait for them to be out of range.
Man, I'm vicious. I got to take it.
Yeah.
I got to do it. It's the mission that counts. And
very good.
Clem knows Saeeda is a fucked up individual, able to get out of this. Saeeda's capable. If I didn't take it, it would actually be worse, because it would mean Clem doesn't think Saeeda's capable.
Saeeda.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So risky standard, 1 bonus die.
And would Destroyer come in?
Yes. You're not affected by quality or tier when you destroy, sabotage. Okay. Sure. I think, are you destroying or sabotaging? I guess the scale is not relevant here of the people. So how do we frame this? I think it's still risky standard, but you have great scale. I think we'll limit it to that. Maybe you don't... How about this? Because of this special ability, that you're not affected by quality or tier, you only need to use 1 dose of the poison to spread it out effectively. What? It's a bit unorthodox, it's not what the ability normally does, but I think it fits in this context.
Yeah. I'm sabotaging, which means I could wreck here as well, couldn't I?
Yes.
And I do like to wreck. I do like a little bit of wreck.
Yes. I think Wreck, like Tinker, I said risky standard. I think if it's Wreck, you can still do it. It makes sense. But in that case, it's automatically Desperate Great, because that implies you are destroying the pipework. And again, hot steam everywhere.
I do not see the problem. There's
Yeah.
no problem whatsoever here. None at all.
Muy bien.
Steam
muy
buns
bien.
are fine. Steam buns are great.
Yes.
I'm going to push myself to extreme. What would that
Okay,
get me?
Desperate Extreme. So, Extreme will mean that all of these 4 people are... Whatever you want to happen to them will happen. Like, if you want them to die from the mixture of, like, the heat and the poison, they will die. If you want them to be peacefully asleep for the whole day and then wake up and be fine, that will happen. Like, at Extreme Effect, probably Aaron has informed you exactly how to dose this poison for exactly the effect you want.
I will point out that I am still also potentially under the effects
Yes?
of this
Maybe
poison.
not.
I
So
know.
whatever
maybe not.
extreme effect you have, maybe murder should not be the intention.
Well, you
just
can
something to
resist,
think about.
can't you? Can't you,
You
resist?
can resist it, yeah.
I would like to not have to, but you're not wrong. I could resist. I'm a badass.
Yeah. Yes?
No, I won't push myself. I'll just, but I will push myself for a die instead.
You can't, because you took a Devil's Bargain. They don't
Oh
stand.
shit! No, I can't. Can I?
So you can push yourself for extreme, but again, you can detail precisely what happens, right? So you don't have to say they die. You can be like, everyone affected by this will be paralyzed until I poke them in the appropriate nerve, and then they will wake up or something.
Yeah. Also, true. Think of this. Worst case scenario is make a new character. Meredith can't make a new character.
Yes.
Do you know why I don't want to make a new character? Because then we would have to commission new art.
Yes. Meredith is also not in the splash zone because she's not out in the common room where this is spraying.
Right.
But I suppose a potential other extreme effect is that you get Meredith a little bit too, if you would rather have that.
I think
controllers.
that's a good. I think that
Okay.
makes sense because the
So
steam
with
would
extreme
also
effect
be.
Yeah. Okay. So with extreme effect, you will poison the entire room. The effect will be weaker on anyone not in the common room, but it will still be present.
Enough to take down a badass. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
And I'm not disrespecting Saeeda this way.
Well, I'm glad that you're not.
Oh, it's a crit.
Nice.
Incredible.
Okay. So, I have started a clock called Taking Down a Badass, as you said that. This is defeating Meredith. And you've ticked that 3 times. She gets badly laced with the poison. That will be your crit bonus if you're alright with that. So,
All good.
Meredith hasn't had time to finish putting on her clothes, and she's already pretty fucked up. And everyone else in the room gets dosed with standstill poison, which very much includes Saeeda and Pilot, and the big man taking you along for a massage. So, as he walks through the room, his joints and limbs begin to stiffen, and he starts toppling like a statue on top of you and Pilot.
He usually charges for that.
Yes. So, here's what's going to happen to you, Saeeda. Pilot is just going to be paralyzed. He's going to be out of the action. If you don't resist this, Saeeda, something interesting is going to happen. You will be paralyzed from the waist up, but your feet are not controlled by you. They are controlled by a demon, and you can still dance around.
Please resist that. It's too silly.
No. The reason that I'm resisting this is not because it is too silly. I know that Prince is a really good GM, and I really always appreciate it because sometimes he and I have the same thought, and I always appreciate it when Prince and I I was like, oh no, is this gonna be what I think it is? And it was exactly that. So great. I would like to resist this, but I think that what I would like to do is I don't think it works. Like, I was wondering, because of the supernatural feat thing, could I use my special armor? But I don't think I can. I don't think it makes sense. It's fine. I will just roll to resist. It's prowess. Presumably.
Yeah, it's prowess, probably, I think, to just power through this.
Yeah, I have to roll at least a 3.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how this goes.
A 3.
I rolled it. So I take 3 stress, which means I'm 1 away from trauma. Which means for the rest of this score, I am aggressively not taking any stress. Very good. Okay, let's go.
Also, you I don't think it makes any sense for you to completely resist this still. So note down a temporary level 1 harm called muscle spasms.
Okay.
Because you still have
Yeah.
been dosed with a poison. Like this devil's bargain counts for something. So you can move
Yeah,
on, but you have muscle spasms. It will go away at the end of the score because it's a temporary
So
poison.
the problem here is I can't control my feet and I can't control my hands.
Yes.
Great, fantastic.
You're
Excellent.
getting
Thank you
you're
so much,
getting a little
Clementine.
bit fucked up.
Mm,
Let's
mm.
cut away here as the
Yes.
the main warrior force gets paralyzed and stunned and knocked out. And let's cut to the hang gliding, hook-shotting, rooftop lurking maniacs that are Bidrohi and
Yes.
Sher-e-Khattam.
All right,
All right,
where are we
yes.
starting?
Okay, I want to acquire a hang glider first.
Absolutely. Time-honored
Is-
tradition.
Yes.
Yes.
Is Bahadur Badur back out of hiding?
We haven't finished this clock, right? So no, I think.
Hmm.
It's on your sheet, I believe.
When we
Yeah.
went out to the
Yes,
Deathlands
yeah.
for the first time, we
Find
just took his
Yeah.
hang gliders from where he lived.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Oh, so
Okay,
we have that.
you have hang gliders, yes. Okay, Bidrohi, here's what I'm going to put, how I'm going to frame this. You can acquire an asset of hang glider repair and
Mhm.
maintenance, in which case you will have a well-functioning hang glider with no problems. Or you can just sacrifice control position for risky by having kind of shitty hang glider that's been sitting around with no one tending to it since the desert score.
No, there's enough problems going on. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
I'm going to fix this hang glider. In fact,
Okay.
I'm going to spend extra money on this because I'm just burning through my money.
Okay, sure. Then I
I
don't think we
would-
need to roll or anything. If you're spending a coin to maintain it, then it's maintained, and if you want to spend more coin on it, it will be
Yeah.
better.
So the thing we're spending the coin on are fireworks and sparklers.
Mm.
Okay, fireworks,
Yeah.
sparklers, and a hang glider. Very well. One
On
coin
the hang
to
glider.
repair the hang. Okay, 1 coin to repair the hang glider and 1 coin to pimp it. Good.
Pimp my ride, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I love
So here's
pimping my hang glider.
Here's the plan, Sher-e-Khattam. I'm going to ride in like absolute badass. Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck's happening over there? You're going to hook shot in silently.
Sounds like a plan. All right.
It is a plan.
You're right. Yes.
Bye, Sher-e-Khattam. Whee!
Okay. The funny thing is, you still get to start in the controlled position because that's how it works. So.
Yes.
I'm in control.
Okay. So I suppose you just jumped off a cliff overlooking the Jasper's hideout, or like his home. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to describe his house here for a second because we haven't really. So Pasarhantu is vertical, and I think his house is too, in the sense that it has like I think it's terraced in like 2 layers. So there's like a lower terrace where his security hangs out. There's a higher terrace where he has this jacuzzi, which has a roof over it and stuff, but it's still relatively open to the air, I think. So it's possible to get in the jacuzzi like area, but it's tricky. It's like non-trivial to land there, but you can land on the roof on top of it easily enough. And it is located quite high up in Pasarhantu, on top of basically a column that once was like affordable housing, and now is just a mess of pipes and wires where he pulled in his stuff. So the house now basically sits on like burned out buildings turned into scaffolding filled with pipes and wires.
Oh,
Because
that's
this
pretty
is
cool.
the kind of setting we're in.
All right. Very, very cool.
Hmm.
All right. I think then which we will do is actually, if Bidrohi is taking the aerial route with the hang glider, maybe since it's on some scaffolding, which we can try to hook shot onto the scaffolding and then climb up, like I guess from
The side?
below the house.
Yeah.
Almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's
Can
start
we-
with Bidrohi's action then, and with you coming in, climbing on this pipes and scaffolding.
How about
Yeah.
we just do a group action to both get in at the same time?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Well,
So
are we
Uh-huh.
are we doing the action to be inside or the action to simply like?
it depends on how you frame it. If the goal of the action is just to get inside, I'm going to frame it as starting out on controlled limited. And by that I mean you can get into the house or the general area, but not anywhere particularly sensitive, because one of you is just climbing and one of you is like not able to aim the hang glider all that well. So I think
Yeah.
that's the logical position to start out in.
Okay.
And the
Now,
idea
I'm
was
picturing-
sorry, you finish.
Okay, and I'm picturing Mushfiq sort of, crawling along the side of the house, and until he either finds an opening or maybe there are guards or something, something of interest.
But it sounds to me like Bidrohi is more setting up Sher-e-Khattam, actually. If the point is for Bidrohi to go in hot so that Sher-e-Khattam can sneak in, then that sounds less like a group action and more like a setup action, actually. Like a setup action that also gets Bidrohi inside, but that sets up Sher-e-Khattam.
Could be. Because I think the plan here was that the main group are the ones who are actually leading the actual assault, and we are here to run interference by drawing people up towards the roofs and so on.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get in, but the main purpose is to get a bunch of people's attentions and start fighting them.
Yeah, and
hence
get Jasper to go into the panic room. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hence the pimped out ride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can just do my action on my own if you don't think it makes sense as a group action.
I think it's more logical that it's a setup action because you are being very flashy and you are giving Sher-e-Khattam an opportunity.
This is a finesse because I'm handling a vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you start as mentioned as controlled limited. With you will still be able to set Sher-e-Khattam up as like a bonus thing, but the limited effect means you get into the house somewhere kind of random. With standard, I think you can get onto one of the terraces, but not necessarily inside the jacuzzi area. And if you get the great effect somehow, you can just fly straight into his personal residential part of the house.
And wherever I go, I would like Sher-e-Khattam to be able to get in with me.
Absolutely, that will be done with the setup action.
Okay. So my baseline is controlled limited, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it into risky standard.
Yep. I figured it's more logical for this to be risky, but you did get this controlled setup, so...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it makes sense for it to be risky standard to go in, whereas otherwise I'm just kind of fluttering around. They aren't expecting hang gliders. And I'd like to go for great effect to kind of sail my hang glider into someone.
Yep, absolutely. That will probably be the grenade guy, Sulfur Sam.
Oh yeah, that's I'm going to 1v1 him, but first I'm going to open up with hang glider.
Yep.
Sulfur
so charging into Sulfur Sam's guard post with a hang glider. Yeah. So you're pushing yourself to get the great effect then?
Yes, I am.
Okay, risky great, pushing for effect. I have a devil's bargain.
I'm listening.
You are flying in with fireworks and stuff going off on your hang glider, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, your clothes catch fire. It won't harm you immediately, but your clothes will be on fire as this.
Shirtless Bidrohi, let's go.
Yeah.
It's not even the first time in our podcast that somebody has caught fire while being on a hang glider.
Yes.
If I had a nickel, I'm just saying.
Yes.
When you were...
The holy hang glider Voodoo Asha also used holy fire.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring back Desperate Attune Season 1.
Yes. Well, I just think it makes sense here because I don't think Bidrohi can necessarily handle all these sparklers and stuff safely, and they would be very close to his body, and he wears flashy clothes that are probably flammable. So
yeah. So the way this thing's I'll explain the way it's blinged out if I succeed, because otherwise I'll feel sad. It's a 6,
so it does succeed.
Yeah. So it's like this angler is tricked out like a rickshaw. It's got silver discs and so on, so all the sparklers and so on are bouncing off the silver disc.
Yeah.
There's tassels and so on. And the front of it has been kind of there's a paper mache vulture head. And I use that to, I don't know, clobber Sam.
Absolutely. So you fly and you just barge into Sam, who I think is he notices this happening, right? So he runs across this terrace so that he can head for his guard post and his stash of weapons, and he raises the alarm. You have done nothing to prevent that. That's what you want, right? So he runs, he shouts, he goes man, something's going down, and then you crash into him.
There's a very slow vehicle flying towards him, which would otherwise be silent, except the sparklers and the man yelling, "Kethrys in the bad!"
Yes.
No,
And,
is
well,
that what's
I think you
happening?
would
Killing
ordinarily
Kethrys
easily
with
be able to
other-
avoid this, except you're very hard to see with all those fireworks. So to describe Sulphur Sam a moment, I think he is a broad-shouldered, bald man with a huge burn scar across one eye. He's Akarosi, obviously, and he has half a mustache. The other half has since long burned off and doesn't grow, but he keeps the other half as point of pride.
What a
And
guy.
It's a big like walrus mustache mutton chop thingy.
Yeah, and he is decked out in like the Jazailchi uniform, but I don't think he like ordinarily patrols with like all of his grenades on him. But he probably has some. He has a bandolier.
Yeah, there is comfort grenades.
Yes, and he's trying to get to one of his guard
Don't
stations.
say that like that's normal.
Uh-huh.
Comfort
Yes.
grenades are not normal.
Yeah, and he's not a normal man.
Yes,
Mm.
and
Something
to
that
add
like
to the-
his husband yells at him constantly whenever he says, "No, I need my comfort grenades."
yes.
Yeah.
To add to the fucked upness of Jasper's thing, by the way, I think the guard post from which he throws like crowd controlled grenades and shit just kind of overlooks the street below. So that, you know, if people threaten this by road or if there's like a mob protesting him or something, he can just like hurl tear gas grenades into it with abandon.
Mm.
So he's a nice man.
It seems delightful. Who wouldn't want
Yes.
him?
He's got a family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Family are all
He does have a
grenades.
family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sher-e-Khattam,
Yes.
you are climbing up the scaffolding as this is happening, and you
Correct.
have controlled standard. You are at no risk whatsoever because Bidrohi is drawing all the attention, and with standard effect you can get to wherever Bidrohi is.
Okay. I think what I was thinking of doing, and maybe this is no longer necessary, was to. So Vidra is making a big thing. Can I eavesdrop on guards doing the thing that that guards do, where they're like, "Oh, hey, something's going on, but should we leave this hole in the wall? Should we leave this hole in the wall unguarded? Haha, no one's ever getting through there." Yeah, that kind of
Yes,
thing.
absolutely.
Okay.
You can survey. That's absolutely a thing you can
I'm-
do. Control
I'm
standard.
glad that
get
you've
a weakness.
established. I'm glad that you've established that this is in fact exactly like Dishonored.
Yes. Uh-huh.
What was that? Must have been the wind.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Whiskey and cigars tonight.
Uh-huh. Yeah, one of the touchstones for Blades in the Dark, so
How many times have you played this game, Salty? Even I've done this.
yeah,
That's very good.
very good.
Well,
All right. Okay. So
It sounds like a survey, and it's
Yeah.
controlled standard. And you will get good information with standard effect on a vulnerability in the house.
Okay. I think that's fine.
And you can modify this, changing position for effect, pushing for effect, and so on. I think with great effect you will get both information on the architecture or the inhabitants. With standard effect you will get one or the other.
Okay.
And I will offer you a devil's bargain here, because I think it's interesting. And your devil's bargain will be that, quite straightforwardly, these guards that are abandoning their post are running straight for Bidrohi and you're doing nothing to stop them.
Bidrohi, are you okay with guards running straight at you while they do nothing to stop them?
I can 1v12.
Oh, well, there you
Yeah.
go.
Well, there's just two of them, because that's always how it goes, right? There's always two guards guarding the important door, being like, "Hey, should we abandon this door?" Yeah, I think we should.
I can't 1v3, that's the problem.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's 2 or 12. Those are the two
Bidrohi
numbers.
just has a problem with prime numbers of guards.
Anyway, it's like too many of them, then they get confused, they have no time to maneuver.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so you can get a bonus die from this.
I roll, and it's a 5, 1 and a 2. So yeah.
Okay, so do you want information on the inhabitants or the architecture?
The architecture, I think, because that's what we said. We're gonna have them talk out loud about weaknesses in the infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of them goes like, "Hey, what if they come up this ladder to the top floor?" And he points to a ladder that leads up to the second terrace, which has the jacuzzi and stuff, which I guess you weren't aware of. It's like around the corner.
Right.
And the other guy goes, "Don't worry about that. They're on the other side. No one's coming up from behind, idiot." and they rushed towards Bidrohi. And you have a convenient ladder by which you can just climb up onto the terrace and startle the people up there.
Perfect.
So do you?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh-huh.
This is what you
Seems
do.
rude not to.
Yes, so there is a controlled consequence. And that controlled consequence is going to be like, you pull up this ladder, and it's a maintenance ladder, and it leads to the jacuzzi, which it turns out is styled as an infinity pool, so it goes like all the way right up to the edge.
Okay.
And you come up and stare right up at a completely naked Shorbot Das, who is standing up in the bath, and sees you come up the ladder and shrieks in terror.
This feels strangely familiar.
Shorbot Das is one of the flatbread. He's the leader of the flatbread uncles. He is here. He is not necessarily fighting you, but now he is seeing you. That's the control position. And he is cunning and wise. So while you have caught him in a vulnerable position, enjoying the jacuzzi, he, you have the upper hand on him. He has seen you, and he's not helpless.
I have a photograph of Shorbot Das.
Does Shorbot Das recognize Mushfiq as Mushfiq's
an enemy of the flatbread uncles? Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think he does.
enemy...
Also, you're wanted. You're all over the wanted posters.
Yeah, so Mushfiq is wanted, an enemy of the flatbread uncles, and also a regular at one of their shops.
Yes.
So, I guess let's start with that. Does Mushfiq get a feeling of if he's been recognized?
Yes, I think he
There's a subtle nod to this when he says Mushfiq.
Yeah.
I think he says Sher-e-Khattam because your legend has spread. He jumps back and goes Sher-e-Khattam, and he splashes the water and he speaks your name like a curse.
Okay. Then there's only one thing to do, which is jump on top of this naked man and clamp my hand over his mouth.
These things happen a lot for you, don't they?
Very good. Okay, so because you have the upper hand on him and he's not really a fighter, I think your position is still controlled. Because he's not in a position to harm you. He is in a position to raise the alarm and so on.
Yeah.
And you have standard effect. You can pin him down. But I will point out that even though it's just controlled, like a consequence of doing this, whether you succeed or fail, is just that you're a little bit busy with this man.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Please describe the image I posted of him.
So Shorbot Das is a rather... what do we call this? Somewhat grim-looking man with a flaming red beard, and it looks like he's got a crown of... What is that? Some kind of aromatic herb,
yes, aromatic
it's
herbs.
For the sherbet.
Yeah, it's sage. I think
the aromatic herbs are also on his head in the bath naturally to make it more comfortable.
So it smells really nice while I'm doing this.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Klow, you established that he was borrowing the jacuzzi. That was one of the favors he got from being here.
Yeah, I mean,
so he has this entire area to himself. He was just chilling.
Okay, so I think this is. I mean, listen, I'm just moving with speed. I think.
Yeah.
And am I skirmishing with?
Yes, I think you're skirmishing.
Control standard, you said?
Control standard, yes.
I don't think I need anything for it. Oh, no, I needed something for that. It's a 3, a 1, and a 2. No.
Okay, so you leap upon him and you miss. You splash down in the water, and I think your controlled consequence is simply this. You are now soaking wet. Which is bad if you were carrying anything with gunpowder or anything like that on you. So it's not a harm or anything, but we are establishing that you are soaking wet, and this man escapes the bathtub and runs for safety, and is kicking up more of a fuss. What load were you in, Sher-e-Khattam?
Well, I didn't actually mark my load, but I'll just mark it as normal, you think?
Yeah, so you're in normal load. Yeah, which means that just mark 1 load worth of water. I think all your stuff is wet and heavy.
Yeah.
So mark 1 load of something, and it just represents the water. Very good. Bidrohi, let's cut back to you.
Mm-hmm.
You have slammed into a grenadier who is not at range to use grenades on you, but he's not helpless without them. And there are also 2 guards rushing your way, going like, "What about the secret ladder? Forget about the secret ladder!" At the top of their voice.
So grenadiers historically have always been chosen from the tallest people that you could find. For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
They can throw the grenades further.
I see. Okay.
That's literally it.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
This is the main reason Grenadier battalions, by the way, have been like seen as elites because they're always the tallest people on parade. Anyway, yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. And I'm having fun with this fact because this man is huge.
Yes.
Mhm. So I emerged from the wreckage of the hang glider, but because it was a success, I emerged adroitly, and I look really cool. Well, not
You're
really
also
cool
on
because
fire.
so I don't actually look really cool. I look really hot. So I'm going to throw the
I see
burning
what you did
clothes at him, and can I blow up a? Well, no, I'm going to die, aren't I? I'm going to throw the burning clothes at him just to see what happens.
Yes. Fair enough.
Just see what happens. Okay.
Yes, but throw the burning clothes at him. I don't think they would realistically like instantly detonate his grenades because they're clothes. But it's definitely risky. It's not desperate yet because that would be blowing yourself up if you were attempting to do that.
Oh, how about this? I throw the burning clothes at him and I set the fuses on fire while he's still wearing them.
Okay, that's desperate.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll see what happens afterwards.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's desperate as such because like doing this will then create a desperate situation even if I succeed. So I don't think the act itself is desperate. If that makes sense? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Risky standard it is then. You can throw your burning clothes at him.
Yes. Aha! I guess that's a finesse to undress really quickly and throw them at him.
Yes, I suppose so. Pull off your shirt, hurl it at him.
I mean, The Tumdurji is not yet on our payroll or anything. Otherwise, I would have had this specially tailored to be able to strip really quickly.
Since you are burning through your cash here, I will offer you a devil's bargain.
Yes.
Since you are trying to you're spending stash quickly, I think you can spend a stash to just destroy some of your clothes. It costs you a stash, but fictionally, it also means that one of your nice Tumdurji outfits is destroyed.
Oh no! Oh well.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a logical devil's bargain. I think it costs you a coin worth of nice clothes.
Yeah, and it's one of the waistcoats, and I throw it at him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pushing for this because it pushes your lifestyle back down towards 0, so you don't have your nice fancy clothes anymore. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Okay, so risky standard. Oh God. So risky standard, where the standard effect will be that his grenades catch fire. Okay, let's do that, and then we'll see what the next action is. Risky standard, and I think I'm fighting with an improvised weapon, so I'm going to add an extra dice.
Okay, yeah. You are. Burning shirts are not common normal armament, so that's fair.
There's 3 6s in there.
There's 3 6s. Okay, so.
Now I understand who's been stealing my 6s. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So, there are 2 possible crit bonuses here.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is just you throw your burning clothes at him, you light the fuses on fire, you create an extremely desperate situation for himself and you. That just happens. The obvious great effect is that you also inflict some harm on him, like he actually is burned by this. And so it becomes easier to deal with. The other one, though, is that you impress the pair of guards and frighten them enough to pause and monologue instead of charging at you.
I would like to... because remember, when I perform fits of finesse, it's especially impressive as well.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Fair enough. So the 2 guards are... So you won't slow down Sam anymore. Like, the fuses are on fire, but he can still act. The guards, however, stop. And one of them goes like, wait, is that one of the Colosseum people? I think that's Bidrohi. What? Bidrohi?
Yes,
no.
it is!
What? Damn it. Okay, you owe me 1. You owe me like 5 slugs. They stop and are wowed at your performance and recognize you.
And just to finish, and just because I think it makes sense to just immediately do this, I'm going to roundhouse kick him off this platform and down.
Okay, sure. We can change straight into that, but that is desperate because now you're roundhouse kicking a man with burning explosives on him.
Yes, that's the point.
So, desperate. Let's call it standard effect, with standard effect here actually representing you can kill him. Let's not bother with clocks. He is a badass, but you have set fire to his grenades.
Yeah, exactly.
You've set yourself up for it. So, desperate standard.
Desperate standard is good.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a devil's bargain.
I'm listening.
You will I mean, you're not really aiming where you're kicking him, but you are going to kick him in the direction of the pipes and the maintenance tunnel, and he will do damage to them. Which may be a problem for your friends coming in from below.
Didn't Clem say something about like respecting people by giving them more difficulties and obstacles?
Yeah, but then Clem also said, I'm not going to do that. No, wait.
Well,
Clem did do that.
you can kick
Clem
him
did
into
do
some
that.
of the... Yeah, you can kick him into some of the pipes. And...
Oh wait, no,
So
Pejal's down there.
Yeah. So, do you want to do collateral damage to the architecture and the water pipes?
I mean,
And
the architecture
potentially
is
the
absolute
secret ladder.
shit. The architecture is shit. But
Yes,
no, Pejal's
it
down
is.
there.
Okay, so no. Good.
I don't
I'm
care
glad
what
I
Clem-
managed to offer a devil's bargain that was too distasteful.
Yeah, Pejal's down there.
Uh-huh.
But I do get a bonus dice for fighting unarmed again.
Yep. Cool.
Let's see. Is there any way anyone could have assisted me, like in some way?
I
I'm
don't
currently
see how
being-
anyone can assist you with roundhouse kicking a guy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to push
Far.
myself for an extra dice just because, just in case, you never know.
Yeah.
We've had some bad luck.
Yep.
Well, you haven't, but nevertheless, yeah.
Yeah, that
It's
and
a
that came in
6.
clutch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's
You
3
roundhouse
5
kick
for 1 and
Ultra
a
Sam
6.
off the balcony and he explodes. Let's cut back to the...
Beam rockets blasting away again!
Yes. Uh-huh.
Right.
I think in a bit of poetic irony, you kick him down towards like the platform where he has many times hurled smoke and tear gas grenades at protesters. He
Yes.
falls down towards that platform and explodes as he hits the ground, pretty much.
Lovely.
Let's see.
Meanwhile, Saeeda,
Oh my god,
everyone around you has passed out. You are fighting your spasming muscles as the massage staff fall over, as the Jazael cheese. Like, some of them struggle, right? Some of them get off their benches and then topple over. And you hear from the back someone definitely raising the alarm, like manually, as in by shouting. There's no alarm ringing. People shout.
I think
the proprietor is definitely coming, and so is Meredith.
Yeah, so I think that what I'm going to do is I know there's a couple of things that are important. The first is that if I can keep both the proprietor and Meredith off of Clementine while the infiltration is going on, that is still like mission accomplished. The second thing is Saeeda doesn't know this, but I know it. I'm 1 stress away from Tron. And so it is really important that I only do things that I'm good at. And I think what I will do is, would you agree that standing still is somewhat like death, and being afflicted with standstill poison is something permits me to see the truth more clearly?
Sure.
I
Yes.
want to
You can
study
make-
this
you can-
situation.
Okay.
And I want to know what I can do or say to ensure that the proprietor of the naughty Naiad is not just fucking murder me. Because
Okay, sure.
it seems like, if you attack a place like this, then she can just be like, Meredith, why don't you go ahead and murder Saeeda? And that would be bad for me.
Yes. So, sleep is the little brother of death, and absolutely you
Yes.
can lead into the sleep and paralysis here. You can literally channel your sleep paralysis demons to help explain
Oh
the
my
situation. So,
Yes, very good. Okay.
absolutely. Yes, you can study the situation. I think it's risky because the atmosphere is poisoned, the alarm is going off. Like, it's not quite
Correct,
controlled, but nor is it desperate.
No.
And I think it's
Yeah,
standard effect.
absolutely.
You can get good information from
Okay,
the signs. And I guess it's up to you
I
if it's
think-
study or attune. They will give you slightly different forms of information.
I better roll what I've got dice in, so I think I will attune. And I think that, I have, Bodyguard, I have Loyal Vizier, which allows me to get +1 effect, but I think actually that's also the reason I'm at standard, because otherwise it seems to me that, if you're, fucking, passing out, trying to attune to anything is a bad idea. You might get possessed.
Yes.
So,
I will tell you right away. If you get a great effect, whether by trading position for effect or through some other means, you will have an opportunity to reach out to Ansetara through the ghost field and speak with her without moving. Communicate with her before she has a time to...
you gotta know I'm saying that. I mean, that's not even a question, right? Like, obviously. And like the thing here is that I like Samum no longer possesses my sash. I no longer really speak to him or commune with him. And in the way that one gets very used to a pain in one's ankle, when it's not there, you're like, wow, it's so nice for it not to be there. But at the same time, you're like, it feels like something is missing. Something's weird. And so, yes, I will take this because I think my love of Samum, or Samum's love of me, rather, has me unconsciously reaching for something akin to the demon.
Very good.
Great.
So,
Risky.
desperate
I will.
great.
Yeah, sorry, desperate great. Correct. Yeah,
Attune.
desperate great attune. We love to desperate attune, folks. We
Yes.
love it. We love to desperate attune. I am gonna. No, I would push myself because I need the special armor to resist if I roll badly on this. So it's fine. And Samum's not my close friend. Oh,
Remind me what you're doing?
Reaching out to the proprietor of this place to try to get her to somehow stop Meredith or slow down Meredith.
Yeah.
I'm going to assist you with foresight.
Oh.
By which I mean, brother, I am with you.
Yes, but how are you with me? Because we just saw you roundhousing someone off of a platform. And then
I was with you several hours ago when I told you all about this proprietor. Because I used to come here with the lads.
Oh, you should come here with the lads. Oh, that's interesting.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have some information about Nabila and Setara.
I don't know what that would be. Prince can tell me, but I'd tell you. And I'd look a bit sheepish as though like, this is not what the lads do anymore. We're past that now.
Yes.
Well, okay. I think Prince can tell me what that information is, depending on what this road is. Yeah.
Okay.
6.
Let's see this.
It's the assistance. It's the assistance.
Yes. Very well. So you reach out and communicate with Nabila and Setara, who is not, in fact, a demon, but she is in tune with one. Maybe she is even demon-blooded, like the noble houses. Like, who knows? There's something up with her, and you sense the water in this place. And she has some sort of demonic powers attuned to water, which is part of this place's success, presumably.
Okay, I know what I will say then to her. Which is I will reach out and I will say, Sher-e-Khattam, Vizier of the House of Lies, Vizier of the Court of the King of Lies, and Priest of the House of Endings, asks for assistance.
Yeah, you hear only one question back, actually.
Yeah.
Are my people safe?
Man, they are, right? Because standstill poison isn't lethal.
It's unpleasant, but it's not fatal, no.
Yeah, so I think I will say, you are not our targets, and we have ensured you will not be our targets. They are inconvenienced.
Then give me your word, none of my... Yeah. Give me your word, none of my people will be harmed, and I'll help you.
You have my word. The word of an Khattam.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think anything to her, but, fine. Whatever.
Yeah. And I think with that, what's going to happen here is she is going to stride out into the room and just meet you and, help you up. And Meredith is going to take her clock once more, because she is now hastily putting on her clothes and investigating the situation. I think that just happens. But
that makes sense,
Nabila pulls you aside, and I think what we see of Nabila is that she is a gorgeous woman with eyes as black as the void sea. And if you look into her irises, you actually see stars inside them. And cool. She has this very strong contrasts of black and white going, very dark skin, very dark eyes, very white fingernails, bone white. And this is her. She kind of looks like a sea of stars if you squint.
Yeah, very good. Somewhat like the shore off of the beaches of Khattam, in fact.
Yeah.
Excellent. But
yes, and she will pull you to safety.
But as she pulls me to safety, Meredith is not here yet, and Clementime is still clear, right?
Yeah.
Great.
We'll cut to Clementime in a moment. Actually, we'll cut to Clementime now, I think. You'll get pulled to safety. Yeah. We'll see what Clem does. You can erase your temporary harm, I think, because as she pulls you to safety, she cleanses you with her powers.
That's so nice of her. But then she notices. Can it also be that she notices that like whatever cleansing that she's doing doesn't work on my feet dancing?
Yes.
Right? Like she definitely knows. Right.
Yes. So Clem, meanwhile, Pejal, let's keep the spotlight on Pejal, returns and goes, I found the door. It's right there. And he points to, and this is not a veiled door. Like, you have succeeded in your poisoning, you have succeeded in deploying your cohort, but this is a maintenance door. And my question to you, Clem, is, did you get either a water bearer or a key from one of them?
That's a question.
Because I think the maintenance areas would be ordinarily locked. But you did mention you prepared for this score by contacting them, so what precisely did you ask for?
I think it was an offer to make Jasper pay for the bills he hasn't been paying. So keep the maintenance unlocked, and I'll make sure you get your money. Because Clem moonlighted as a mercenary deserter for hire.
Yep.
Gets the money back.
Makes sense. So, up to you whether you want to pay 2 stress to just have this door be unlocked, or whether you want to take some sort of social action vis-a-vis the water bearers, possibly with a cost.
I think this makes sense for a acquire asset here.
Yeah. Then pay a coin and roll tier.
For that. Fantastic.
And we'll see, depending on the tier.
Tier +1 because of the claim.
Oh yeah. I'll roll it again.
No, roll tier +1. But it's a 2 and a 1.
Yeah.
So it's tier 0. It's in fact a shitty asset. So unless you pay more, what is going to happen here is they have left this door unlocked. That's all they've done. They have provided you with no access to like the interior, no guides for where to go, no guides for what's safe. Literally, all this asset lets you do is bypass this door. None of the other obstacles. You can pay more coin to have also gotten some good intel out of them. Basically, I think they couldn't be bothered for this little coin to do anything else, right? They were just like, fine, we'll leave it unlocked, take a look.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pay another coin for that,
Okay.
And I think this guide is, because Clem's, as far as Clem knows, Saeeda's been taken out by the standstill poison. Clem's going back up top to take down Meredith and follow back later.
So this guide is for the cohorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What you have then is you have a crude blueprint, sketched out by one of the water bears, which basically says, "Don't touch that. That's hot. Don't touch that. That's hot. Do touch this ladder. Go up it. When you reach the hatch, turn the thing clockwise. Open the hatch. Continue." Something like that.
Yeah.
It lets them give you. You can just hand them a written note of instructions, and they can quickly go through this door and upstairs. So that will happen. The cohort will do that, and because you paid for this this asset, there is no role or risk associated with it. They'll just follow instructions. You, meanwhile, are going back upstairs. Yeah.
Yep.
So you emerge into this room wearing your gas mask. Everyone is knocked out. Saeeda is not in sight, but maybe she could be concealed behind some of the furniture or one of the toppled silk screens or something. And you definitely hear, I think you hear Meredith at this point, like swearing and screaming. And I guess she goes like, "Where's my coat? Where the fuck is my coat?"
And I think, Clem is going to pick up the coat and say, "Is this what you're looking for, Meredith Fitzgerald of the ship, the Storm Palace? Is that right?"
Yeah, and she turns to face you, and I think what we see is, so you pick up this like very heavy coat, which is laden with extra weapons and stuff. This is where she keeps her backup weapons. Or no, rather, this is where she keeps her main weapons. Her backup weapons are on her regular clothes, right? So she is in, what's the word, like a bodice? Is that the word? Where it's like a vest thing is what I'm thinking, like a sleeveless thing. Sleeveless shirt type thing.
And bodice is the word. Yeah.
Yeah. And like very heavy trousers, also laden with pockets, and like a weapon belt. And I think she herself she's a veteran, so she's experienced in the field. She has copper red hair that's slowly faded to gray. It's out right now, it normally isn't. It's out in like long curls. And a very wicked snarl on her face. And I think the interesting thing about her as a former Leviathan hunter is she doesn't have the scars of battle. Because she fought things so big, usually, that if they hit you, you just die.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I mean, you're pretty much outright challenging her. She looks at you and she goes, "Yeah, give it back, please." And she draws out a pair of cutlasses.
Of course, it's a pair of cutlasses. And
Clem, if you say that under your breath,
yeah,
of course.
Clem is such a bastard.
Yeah,
just snorts like, of course, it's a fucking cutlass.
Yeah.
Hunters are all the same. And throws the coat. So I think this echoes Bidrohi's throwing his clothes. So it would bowl her over and then just rush and shield to the face. Well, to the neck.
Yeah, cool. So the cloak is a distraction. You are barreling into her. Very good. She is a badass, but so are you. And with your shield mark, I think that brings you up to standard effect, which is 2 ticks on the clock, which doesn't quite take her down. But it is desperate because we have established she's a huge badass.
Yeah.
So, it's desperate standard because of your coat and your shield and like all your equipment. Gives you a shot at taking a swing at her. But standard effect will stagger her, knock her backwards, not take her out of the fight though.
I'm going to push myself to make that great effect and take her down in 1.
Yep. Perfectly doable because of how well you poisoned her. She is sluggish and not in great shape. And I think you can tell, right, that if she were, this would be a very difficult fight. But you are wearing a gas mask and she isn't, and that's making all the difference right now.
It's called, stack the odds in your favor.
Yep. So desperate great, pushing yourself. And I have a devil's bargain for you. And it's a mean devil's bargain again. You step on one of the passed out waitresses and boot her in the ribs quite badly. You're a heavy person with a heavy shield. She is going to be, not die, but it's going to hurt, it's going to suck. And more importantly, it means Saeeda breaks her vow and one of the staff is injured and breaks a rib.
It's really important that you don't do that. Saeeda has made this clear. I mean, it's up to you, absolutely. And I do think it's somewhat interesting. But I will say Saeeda's definitely told you, don't do this. And not because of the thing, right? Saeeda had already earlier kind of been I think we should try at least to make sure nobody gets in trouble.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense here. It's easier to do a charge if you don't care about carefully stepping over passed out people on the floor. And accidentally giving them a kick or something makes it easier.
I don't think I am going to take that devil's bargain though, because I think it is important for Saeeda here.
Very good. I'm just throwing all sorts of fuck with each other's devil's bargains at you today.
Yes,
but
correct.
Yeah.
You are. But I mean, it's good.
Okay. Then no devil's bargain, desperate standard.
Desperate great, because I've pushed myself.
Desperate great, sorry. Because you pushed yourself for effect. Yes.
I think this probably counts as wrecking her shit again, right?
Yeah. I think you're wrecking.
I love
Do you need an assist? How many dice are you looking at?
3.
Do you want an assist? I could figure some way out of giving you one.
I mean, shoot. What are you thinking?
So you're charging at her with your shield. You've thrown the cloak at her, right? And the cloak, that was your cloak, right?
No, that's her coat. Yeah.
Okay, that makes it even better. I mean, this is a fashion icon. So I would say that I've done some research on this person, and because of the kind of people that I tend to hang out with, I hear a lot about her clothes, and I think I would have heard that there's a particular it's almost entirely likely that in her cloak there's a particular recess where she keeps some sort of weapon, maybe a whip or something that's built in. And I think if you take the devil's bargain, if you take the assist, then you might be able to either fling it in such a way that this weapon kind of strikes her in the face, or you kind of take the weapon yourself.
I think it's not a weapon. I think it's metal plating inlaid in the coat to stop a bullet to the heart.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, like, you can get certain clothes and like South Asian styles that actually have like metal inlays and so on, like discs and so on. So I think it's kind of like that, and we know that these are strong ones.
Yep, makes sense. So you have an assist for having been instructed about. It's very funny that Bidrohi has himself weaponized fashion this session and also instructed.
It's not instructed. It's like, oh my god, sibling Clem. Like this is clearly like bulletproof, like like mirror finishing and so on, mirror gems and all that.
Yep.
And you can draw your own conclusions.
It's a nice quote.
Okay.
That's Clem's input on this conversation.
Yeah. Very good. Let's see this roll. 6, 6, 6, 4. So
I'm part of it. I'm happy to be part of the sixes.
Yes. So you knock her down, and I think okay. Crit bonus here. You have the collaboration of the proprietor. You don't know that, but I think a crit bonus here can be that she rushes out and informs you of this, and she is, I think she sees this occur, and what I'm aiming at as a crit bonus is I think you can get to take Meredith captive if you want.
Can I take her coat as well?
You can take her coat as well, or instead, but I mean, if you take her captive, then you take her coat too, so it's fair.
I would like her coat, please.
Yeah, I think what happens is that this proprietor, this Ansetara, she rushes out and she says, "Please don't bring any further attention here. If you have trouble with this woman, take her elsewhere. I have some staff out the back. I have a carriage. Throw her in there. Get her out of here." And I think that's your crit bonus. She is like, "Oh shit, this is way more serious than I thought. I don't want any heat to my establishment. Please just throw this woman in my carriage. I'll drive her wherever you want, just so that I get her away from here."
Yeah, we should do this. But I think that what we should do is, if you can tie her up, you can put Saeeda, who is not in a good way, into the carriage, and I can take her back to the vault, stick her in our prison, and then you can go down and continue with your sabotage.
Wearing her coat, if you like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so,
I'm going to add nice coat,
yes,
which is important.
And I think for the purpose of this score alone, right, in future this will count against load because you'd be bringing it. But for this score alone, you now have heavy armor. Even though you ordinarily wouldn't be, but...
Very good.
Yep. So, you put on the badass long coat and you hurry after the cohort towards the
God, that
panic.
looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Clem's learned anything from Bidrohi, it is look good doing your horrible stuff.
Turns out looking good is mechanically beneficial.
Yes. Sher-e-Khattam, meanwhile, you do not look good. You look like a wet cat in a jacuzzi. And pulling yourself up, you see Shorebot running away, shouting for help.
I was thinking that I could either try to stop him by firing the hook shot, but I think, is there a way I can frame it so that him... Like, what can I roll so that him running away is actually a good thing? Shouting for help.
Yeah, I think it's command in that situation, which is like terrifying presence, leaping out of the water and scaring the guards and stuff. Because your goal is to cause panic, right? Yeah. So I think a command action would be appropriate to like shout after him, be generally terrifying, and try to turn this from looking like a wet cat in a jacuzzi to like a sea monster rising from the water.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay, now, unfortunately, I've got absolutely nothing in command, so I'm gonna need something to help out.
So
I don't know if anyone... I don't think anyone can assist me in coming out of this.
I've already blown it. I've blown mine.
Yeah.
I can just push myself, I guess.
I have a devil's bargain, actually.
Okay, what's your devil's bargain?
Because Mushfiq and the flatbread uncles are so at odds with each other, this will get back to your vice purveyor, Sundari Tanduri, and it's going to create some trouble with her.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I think that, and I think it just makes sense.
Yeah. Shorbot is not exactly her boss, but he is her friend, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's just going to say, oh, now you're going to be cut off, but it's definitely a problem, right? Like, it's definitely like, you're going to have to do something.
No, it makes sense. I think that makes sense. We should do it. That works.
So you have a bonus die from that?
I think I'm going to push myself as well, because I've got...
You can't push yourself for a die
right.
and take a devil's bargain. You can for effect, though, if you want. And I think your position and effect is straightforward. I think it's still controlled, actually, because Bidrohi is drawing so much of the actual heat.
Yes.
So I think it's controlled standard to just kick up a stir and be scary.
Okay, let's just roll the 1 die then. Let's see what happens. It's a 6.
6.
Lovely.
So,
very good.
Shorbot, I think Shorbot rushes to the door and he goes like, "Let me in! Sher-e-Khattam is out here, I don't know what he wants!" And he bangs on the door, and this is the exact effect of Jasper going, "Oh shit," and running into his panic room and abandoning Shorbot out here.
Alright, and...
So what you achieve is 2 things, actually. Jasper goes to the panic room, and Shorbot goes, "Well, I'm not doing business with that fucker ever again."
Yes, very good.
Good. Alright.
So I think he snatches his towel, he holds it up before him, he turns around and he goes like, "Well, it's not me you're after, it's him. He's through that window."
Yeah, I think before Jasper, I'm sorry, Shorbot just could start explaining. I think Mushfik, when he's going, help it, or
yeah.
I should probably just be like, "Oh, quit, you're belly aching. I'm not interested in you anyway."
Yeah.
No. You must be introduced. Sher-e-Khattam, this is the man who can give you restaurant vouchers.
Fair enough. But right now, so he goes like, "Fine, you're not interested in me. Good. He's through that window." And he'll just point where Jasper's running for his panic room.
All right. I think Mushfik's goal really is just to kill Jasper. I mean, so if if it's through the window, I think
Mm-hmm. Let's go through the window and let's briefly cut to Bidrohi before we cut back to Sher-e-Khattam.
Sure.
Yes.
So Sher-e-Khattam, you crash in through the window. There's not a roll to do that. That's you're badass enough that you can jump through a window. You're rushing in after him. Bidrohi, you have just kicked a man off a roof. The 2 guards look at you, and I mean, I think because so much of the crew was away, there is a bit of a skeleton crew, and maybe the other guards chickened out. So it's just these 2 guys. They outnumber you, but they look at you. They have their weapons raised, and I think they raise their rifles and point them at you because they're at a safe distance. And they go like, "Sir, state your business here. We really don't want to shoot you. Yeah, you're fucking cool." And you're in the odd position of having rifles pointed at you by 2 of your admirers.
What kind of accents do they have?
I think they're Uduashans. I think they're... or let's say that one of them is and the other one isn't, for funsies.
But is it accuracy? Or...
Kethrys?
Let's...
Oh, yeah. Let's have one of them be Kethrys. Okay. Why not? That's actually really cool.
Yeah, I think Bidrohi's hands are empty. He's got his weapons, but he's not holding them in his hands. So he's bare-chested, bare-handed, and he kind of raises them and he just says, "Guys, I just came here to kick a lot of ass." And I was going to say more lot of ass, but I'm looking at ass right now. Wait, no, sorry. That sounded better in my head.
Oh my god. I'm going to take a special ability called Bidrohi's lines are now cool. And all that the special ability will do is that Bidrohi's lines will now be cool.
Yes, very good. So they point the rifles at you very reluctantly, but go on.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's like this. This Jasper guy, he's a big fuck. We hate him. And we came here to do a big strike. This is all part of a big strike. It's not just me on my own being really badass. Even though that would be really cool, I have to be level with you. There's a big strike happening right here. There's a whole thing. Now, here's the situation. I just kicked man off roof. I think he sucked. I've heard of this man, Sulfur Sam. You guys, I don't know who you are. I'm sure you guys are cool. Introduce yourselves if you like. It's up to you. But here's the situation. If you want to fight, I'm going to fight the 2 of you. Maybe I'll die. Maybe you'll die. Maybe none of us will die. Maybe we'll just have grievous bodily injury. It can go all over the place, Or you guys can just lay your weapons down and walk away.
Yeah. You're in a position, I think, to impress this upon them.
Yeah. I'm going to call
it... part of the Bidrohi's lines are now going to be cool ability is going to be training him to stop saying maybe I'll die and start saying there is no doubt that you will die.
Yes. So they are pointing rifles at you, but I think because of the situation, this is not desperate, because I don't think there's any way these guys are going to shoot you to death. They're going to like shoot you in the leg at most.
Yeah. Okay.
By default, at least. So I think it's risky, and I think, yeah, you have set yourself up. Right, you have a special ability to extra impress them, so that brings you to standard.
Okay. And I'm trying to, I don't know, I think it's an intimate enough connection, as it were. To you. Can it be like, hey, you guys like me? I don't want to kill you. Can we sort this out?
You can.
I'm going to call it concert, because it feels like we're talking guy to guy, as it were.
Yep.
Guy to guy. It's guy down between two guys.
With one bonus die. I do have a twist with this intimate connection, which is just that I want to ask you a question. You grew up here. You are not familiar with Kethrys standards, but I think as you look at this Kethrysy man, he is like Omid. He's rootless. He has no ancestry. He has no family. He has no tree. You see this on him, and if you want to make use of this connection, maybe you don't have to say it to him, but I want to see what Bidrohi thinks about this Kethrysy practice of casting out people who don't have a traceable ancestry.
Yeah, I think I'd just briefly add in, and I think, even though we have stopped having Bidrohi narrate and we're talking about rolling, I think Bidrohi is still speaking. And I think at one point he throws in, like, I don't know if you guys were there in Kethrys, like, running around burning things and all that, but like, man, like, can we just like let it stop? Like, I spoke to that Omid guy, and he's like, apparently like he had a really hard life. And also like we are also outcast, like the gentlemen have like outcast us. Like, what is the point of all of this? Like, you are Uduashan, you're Kethrysy, can we all just like chill out?
Yeah.
Why can't we all just get along?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I expected that Bidrohi would not consider this tradition important at all, but I think it's interesting to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Take your +1 for an intimate connection.
Risky, standard, +1. Yeah, and if this goes badly, then of course so I'm not like pushing or anything for now.
Yep.
Let's see, was there anything else? No, it's okay. It's 6.
It's 6. Yeah.
Nice.
So they lower their weapons hesitantly, and one of them says, Hey, we were meant to watch that ladder, weren't we? Yeah. Okay, Bidrohi, don't go up the secret ladder at the back. And they rush around to go guard the ladder as their excuse not to fight you.
Where does it go?
To the pool.
You didn't tell me that.
Just don't go up it, okay? Yep.
Don't worry.
This is like that heart in Dishonored that tells you this man is a fan of a fighter in the Colosseum called Bidrohi and follows him like incessantly.
Yes.
And then under my breath, I'm like, I'm totally going to go up it.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, you can also go up the stairs that lead to the top floor easily enough, because they're right there. So
yes.
But like these guys, they gave me special information, and they'll. I think they'd appreciate if I use it. That's the important thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. That's why.
So you're going to go up the ladder after Sher-e-Khattam. Very well. Bidrohi will then appear in the scene a moment after, but let me first frame what is happening. So Sher-e-Khattam will be the first to see this. Clem and Bidrohi, you are hot on the heels. Like, you will join up. Because I assume Clem is going after the cohort, yeah? Yeah, you said so. Yeah. But the scene we see is Mona Darling with her electroplasmic drill spear thing lowered, pointed at Jasper in a room, which is like the panic room. He hasn't had time to seal it. They have come up through this pipe maintenance hatch, and there's a wall of various like fine weaponry. He has grabbed a pistol in one hand, a sword in the other, and Jasper himself, I think, is a rather heavy-set man. He's one of those men who was, like, in his youth, right, a hulking, strong, kind of scary man, and he still is, but he's put on a little weight, he's aged a little bit, he's...
Robert Baratheon.
Yeah. He's got like salt and pepper hair, and he glares at your cohort. And there is like a brief pause, and he will notice you coming from behind, Sher-e-Khattam, like you crash in through a window. He's gonna spin around.
Is he glaring at us from behind a Gatling gun?
Oh my god, does he have a Gatling gun in his panic room?
I don't think he would have that in his panic. Oh no, I know what he has. He has like a duck's foot pistol. So he could shoot like several of your cohort at once.
Oh,
these like insane spread out pistols, which he has pointed at them. And then as Sher-e-Khattam comes from behind, I think he just like turns slightly and points the sword in your direction. And he just goes like, "Don't come any closer, please."
Okay. But would you say that this me coming through the window would count as attacking from hiding?
Yes.
I would get +1 die.
Yes.
Okay, I thought this is what Bushmeat was saying.
If you just rush him right now, then yes. I mean, he has spotted you, but you're still attacking from hiding, definitely. So you can just rush him. He is a dangerous man with a sword. He is like he hears you, but you can do it. It's desperate.
All right. So, what Bushwick does is he crashes through the window and Batman style. So I said last time that we'll say I'm going to take a point in hunt, and we'll say that Bushwick has some kind of chakram thrower attached to the prosthetic arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just like how Batman throws his batarangs to knock guns out of people's hands. That.
So you want to disarm him of the duck's foot pistol?
Yeah.
Bushwick is fully becoming Batman.
Well,
I don't know about fully. I think there's a difference in atmosphere and thematics and vibes.
Yes.
Bushwick is fully becoming the Adam West Batman.
Yes.
So, desperate
I have
standard.
not yet started employing child labor, so
yes.
that's an important difference.
Okay, thank you for clarifying this. I'm going to get on getting Bushwick some child labor as soon as possible. Also, Bajal as Robin is obviously what is happening here.
Bushwick does have a butler, though, so, collectively have a butler, so...
Yes.
Okay, very good. So it's desperate standard. You can disarm him of the duck's foot pistol.
Perfect. And... Okay, so that'll be an extra die. I can also push myself, yeah? Do this? Alright, I'll do that. Hunt, desperate, standard, bonus die, 2. Yes, it's a 5. Phew.
Okay. So, you throw this thing, you disarm him of the pistol, and knock him like a little bit further into the room. And do you then rush at him, or do you keep your distance? So I know how to frame your desperate consequence.
I don't see any point in waiting. I think Bushwick does have words for Jasper, but that'll be after disarming him completely.
Yeah, so you rush towards him. He is like knocked backwards through the door into the panic room. He staggers backwards, you rush at him, and speaking of Dishonored, he flips a switch, like instinctively as you rush at him, and as you go through the door, he electrocutes you to death.
Holy shit!
Level 4 Harper. He
want to resist
activates
that?
his miniature lightning barrier to his panic room, which he apparently has.
I think I might, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to death, that's serious.
Yeah,
that's serious.
I mean,
lightning barriers are not to be fucked with. They're bad for ghosts, but they're not great for people either. So
famously, lightning is not very good for people, except in incredibly small doses in the brain.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Bringing back your anecdote about electroshock therapy, I see.
Yes. I was actually the joke wasn't that, but sure.
Yeah. Yes. Also, the duckfoot pistol is also a callback to season 1 of Desperate Attune. Bring it back, season 1.
Yes. So anyway,
make season 1 of Desperate Attune again.
Make a resistance roll. How does it look like when you resist this like lightning arcing out from the metal frame of the door?
What indeed? Maybe. So the lightning will follow. Okay, lightning will follow the path of least resistance, and so what makes sense maybe is to somehow use the prosthetic arm to redirect the lightning from the body.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, grounded. Yeah. You're still taking harm from this, right? But your prosthetic arm is not harmed by electricity and can ground you. Yeah, so it's probably prowess to like use that quickly enough.
Yeah.
As you start to.
Oh man, Mushfik's really glad he took that electronics course.
Yes.
All right. So, okay, no stress at all.
Okay.
Here it is.
So this resists it down to level 3. I think you can also mark armor because of how we framed it. Armor is normally not that good against electricity, but since you're using the arm, or
yeah,
you can take it down to level 2. So
right.
it's still electrocution burns. It still sucks, but I think you get through the gate
All right.
So
into the room.
Is it just Sher-e-Khattam who's going to be in the room?
No, the cohort is also there.
Mm.
Like Jasper was pointing the gun at them, so
Right,
they
right.
can be commanded to act in this moment. Sher-e-Khattam, do you order them to do anything? I think Jasper is surprised that you're still alive. I think he expected you to die from that.
The statues outside the panic room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything? I mean, you don't have to tell to give me information that's useful, but is the panic room itself? I guess my question is, what's a appropriately cool setting for this fight? Because the panic room I expect is just blank, just gray walls. Where out here it's much nicer.
Yeah. So
okay, we should fight out here, and I think what we'll do is not go into the panic room, but rather pull him out of it.
Makes sense. So maybe what the cohort is trying to do is he burns through all the electricity as he electrocutes you, and the system shorts, and then the cohort is going to force him back outside, out of the room.
Oh my god! But on the other hand, consider just pushing him through the lightning barrier like they do in Dishonored to turn him into ash.
Yeah.
But we just say words to him. It's not fun if he doesn't know why he's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, someone roll for the cohort. I don't think Mushfik is commanding them. I think they're acting independently. So someone roll for the cohort to see if they can push this guy out. And now they have 2 dice because they are thugs. They are good at this sort of thing. And the goal here is to hurl him and Sher-e-Khattam back out onto the terrace with his statue of himself and shit.
Mm-hmm. Are they setting up Sher-e-Khattam?
I think they are, yeah.
Okay.
I think they're setting up Sher-e-Khattam and Bidrohi and Clem, who are joining shortly.
Okay. They get a bonus dice because of Blood Brothers.
Yeah. Cool. So then it's 3 dice.
Which I think everyone forgot about for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. Nice.
6.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. Mona, I think, rushes forward with her. She has an electroplasmic weapon too. And he jams it. He parries it with his sword. And then Bald Murad, who is not particularly elegant, but who is big, just crashes into him, shoves him out. He stumbles through this gate. He crashes into Sher-e-Khattam, and all of you just kind of spill out into the area before the with this window, the statue. There's big double doors, glass doors, I think, that are closed that Shorebot was banging on. He has now decided to go down the ladder to escape. We are in this beautiful venue in front of this statue of himself. He is off balance, but he still has a sword. And I think 2 things happen in this moment. Clem, you come up behind the cohort, and you see the interior of the panic room with all of its every kind of weapon you could possibly want. You see the owner having been pushed out through the door. You also see smoke, and the fact that some kind of very powerful trap just went off. And just for a moment here, Clem, what do you do as you come up behind?
Clem is going to grab one of the pistols, I think another duck's foot pistol, and hold it sideways so all 4 barrels are pressed up against
style.
Jasper's.
Yeah, I was going to say, like a cool person, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all 4 barrels are pressed against the back of his neck.
Okay, so to get into this position is definitely an action roll because he is not near you and there's a lot going on and he has a sword. So I think it's a lot going on in this action. It's very cool, but I'm going to start you off at limited effect, and that limited effect is basically just getting the pistol and getting near him, and you can push that up to standard effect to actually threaten him with it. And I suppose I'll start you off with risky, just because his focus isn't on you.
Yeah.
So risky limited is your starting position to do this. It's up to you what kind of action it is. Probably finesse or something.
Yeah, finesse is good. I'm going to trade that for risky, for desperate standard. I think. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Do you think duck's foot pistols? I was just thinking, are duck's foot pistols made in Cerberus?
Oh, I hate that. Is that a devil's
Yeah.
bargain?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there something like, oh, you recognize this specific make of pistol as being like important to your tradition of like blacksmithing? There's like a little maker's mark on it that implies that like.
Okay. I have another devil's bargain for you. Yes, all of these weapons are made for the Akarosi mercenaries and the Akarosi military. They have a maker's mark on them. Your devil's bargain will make you aware that there is a master Severosi smith in Uduasha, and they are working for the Empire.
Oh yes.
Your
That's
rival?
your devil's bargain if you want to take
Your
it.
rival? Your rival?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Quite
rival?
possibly. Uh-huh.
The way they use it is that the cavalrymen, they have these pistols, and cavalry pistol has one job. You rush in, you shoot someone, and then you start hacking them with your sword. It makes sense to have a gun that can shoot 4 people at once.
Yes. So if you take this devil's bargain, please start at 4 o'clock to find a new rival. And this is a project that I will enforce you working on.
Yes.
Because I don't think you know anything about this smith yet. So if you're taking the devil's bargain, please
Yeah,
start
I am
the clock.
going to take the devil's bargain.
Cool.
I don't think it should be 4 o'clock though. I think it should be longer.
Okay.
No, Uduash is a big city.
Fair
going
enough.
to bargain.
Let's make it 8, and let's make the penalties for not working on it less harsh in that case. 8 o'clock to find the Severosi blacksmith.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I will put that. Okay, desperate, standard, and 1 bonus die.
Yep.
That's another 6.
That's
Nice.
another 6.
Ew.
So you rush towards him, you hold up the gun. Like, I think the situation is with standard effect, right? You don't get him dead to rights, because that would be great effect. You don't get him where you could just end him with a single shot. But you do get in a position where you're pointing it at him, you're very close to him, and his life is in immediate danger. He can still like move around, but you can also very easily shoot him. So yeah, it's probably like you briefly press it against him. And yeah, there's a very chaotic situation going on. Bidrohi, meanwhile, are you going up the ladder? The secret ladder?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shorbot Das is going down the secret ladder wearing a towel. So,
Now you're about to see a whole lot of ass.
yes.
Sir, please wrap the towel.
What? He looks down and he goes, you too!
Is it
thought-
Harper Das, sir? Hello.
I thought you stayed in the Colosseum. What are you doing here?
I don't live in the Colosseum. Why would you think that? What?
You don't live here, do you?
No, I don't live on a ladder.
Move out of the way, I need to get down.
Why are you here, sir?
I
Not
I
on the
was here.
ladder, but like in general.
was here for a business arrangement and a bath.
Did you have either one of those things?
No. Well, I did get in the water. I
Okay,
suppose
sir.
that counts.
You understand that you are leader of gang that hates us, and I am below you with swords, and you are only armed with towel.
You are only armed with power. What a line! I mean, what a yeah. I mean,
He goes back up again. I don't think he has too much of a choice. So he climbs back up to the jacuzzi.
No. That's not the thing. That's not. I'm just saying that let us have a quick conversation about our mutual situations vis-a-vis gang wars and so on. So we're going to hash out.
On
So I'm
the
going to make
ladder,
a
you want to have a political conversation with him.
Yeah, we don't have to play it out because it'll take a while. But essentially, something along the lines of stop fucking with us. Sher-e-Khattam eats for free.
Okay, so you can make an action roll here in an attempt to blackmail yourself into a better position with the flatbread uncles. Sure. They are at -2 with you.
seems
You
pretty
can attempt to
limited, even if you do. Oh, but no, you have him at towel point, so I guess.
Yes. Let's just call it risky standard. I don't precisely know what the risk is, but this is the default position in effect. So let's call Bidrohi's impromptu political maneuvering risky standard.
I mean, the risk is very likely that he just won't honor his end of the deal as soon as he's gone.
Yeah, fair.
Or maybe something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, risky standard. Sher-e-Khattam, would you like to assist?
Yes, but I don't know how. I think
Oh, you can.
maybe.
You would know. Like you'd have like encyclopedic knowledge of like which are the good restaurants and so on.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes.
Mhm.
Oh no, I know even better than that. Like not knowing what the which the best restaurants are, but rather Shunduri Tandoor is actual like old tandoor chef was fired, and I want him back because the new guy's no good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very
Okay,
good.
that's your assistance.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's the reason
It's an
it helps
assistance
is
because it's a reasonable request.
Yeah.
It's not like an inconvenience. Yeah.
well, it's more like no. Actually, we do make inconvenient requests as well. But the fact that I peppered that in means that we actually really understand the workings of his organization.
Yeah.
So we're able to follow up.
Uh-huh.
So I'll take a extra there. Is there a devil's bargain that's relevant?
Is there a devil's bargain that's relevant to this? Okay, yes, I have a.
Yes.
This is the first dumb thing that came to mind.
Yes.
A
Okay,
sponsorship.
I have one in
deal.
mind as well.
You have to
Ah,
advertise
okay.
this restaurant. You
Okay,
have to
I
be
was-
officially sponsored by Sure Das.
Okay. I was going to say, doesn't your mother run a boarding house that maybe the flatbread uncles are interested in
Oh yeah.
running
there's
on the
that.
behalf?
Yeah.
But I think the sponsorship deal is also very harsh in a way, because that's definitely something that Sundari Tandoori would be very irritated about if we did that with this man instead
Yes.
of...
Uh-huh.
But
you know, it's the Colosseum. It's hot. If you go like after this match, go have Shorvat, excellent Shorvat.
in the middle of every fight. Badami Sharbat is the secret of my energy.
Yes. This is why it's a devil's bargain, because it's like it's funny, but it's also kind of realistic. I mean, Victorian Britain had sponsorship deals too, right? It's not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to
It's not a
tell you
new
that
idea.
Zoheb was referring to a very well-known Sachin Tendulkar ad in which he constantly said, "Boost is the secret of our energy."
Yes, I see.
I think it was bad. It was, I regret.
But it's iconic.
It is iconic, you're not wrong.
So, do you take this devil's bargain for a sponsorship deal?
Indeed, I have, and I've rolled a 5.
Okay. So, what is going to happen here is I'm actually bringing in this idea of the boarding house because I think it's interesting. So, with your standard success here, I am going to tick you up one step with the flatbread uncles. You're going to be at -1, but unless you resist this consequence, your mother will have to like formally be in good standing with the organization. Like you will have to arrange that somehow.
I'm going to resist this with the ability dashing. You may expend your special armor to resist a consequence of looking foolish or failing to impress. I want to impress upon him very much that this is a moment where he does not have any cards.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because he's armed with a towel.
What will happen here then is the flatbread uncles will cool their heels a little bit with you. You already have Sundari on your side. Now he's like begrudgingly accepting you in exchange for the sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
So they're not going to like you, but they're going to stop coming after you as long as you honor your end of the bargain. And I think the sponsorship deal actually is quite a good thing for him. So.
Yeah. So I think we see Bidrohi kind of like hang by the sides of the ladder, give him space to go down, and I think that's also part of like looking like sick as hell that I can just like do that.
Yeah. And he slides down past you, and let's cut back down to the fight above you where you have been negotiating politics. This man is trapped by Clem's pistol. And Clem, what do you say to him as you threaten him with this pistol? Because he's caught between you and Sher-e-Khattam at this moment.
I don't think Clem says anything. Clem's focuses on Mushfiq. Because I think Mushfiq has been the one to champion going after Jasper. And yeah, their eyes are just on their crewmate right now.
Yeah.
I think in that
I know
case,
you said crewmates, but for a second I heard roommate, and I was like, wait a second, did I miss something? No, it's just...
Oh my god, they were roommates?
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Indeed. Okay, what does Sher-e-Khattam do?
I think Sher-e-Khattam, well, obviously to do is first just take the sword off Jasper, not give anything, and I don't know, does Jasper say anything, start begging for his life, anything like that?
No, you can't just take the sword off of him. He may have a pistol pointed at him, but he is too stubborn by half to just give up.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like he may be cornered, he may be pushed into a corner, but he is going to try to go down swinging unless you do something.
Oh, okay, then definitely I will do something, which is... Ooh, okay. I mean, why complicate things? I think this is as good a time as any to just, punch him in the face and knock him to the ground.
Okay, yeah. No words,
Yeah.
just a punch.
Yeah, just...
Very good.
Yeah, like I said, the words will be after he's out of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Skirmish it is, I think. It sounds like, or maybe wreck. And I think it defaults to risky standard here. It's not desperate because you have the upper hand on him, but nor is it controlled because he's just that dangerous.
I think I'm trying to. I think wreck is what it is. We're not fighting. I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
risky standard. You can knock him out with your metal arm to the face.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take -1 die for the
injury. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Would you like to make it a group action?
I think that makes sense. Yeah.
You should do it with the cohort as well because they get more dice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes
sense. They have 3 dice. Yeah.
Okay.
So group action, Clem, Mushfik, and the cohort. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll roll mine. Well, actually, that should have been a 1 because the 5 doesn't count.
-1. Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's a 1 from Mushfik. You take a stress because you're leading this group action. Then let's see Clem, and then the so that's a crit.
No.
Clem has rolled only crit this entire score. I think it's ridiculous.
Don't you love rolling only crits, Salty? Okay. I look forward to you falling into like what appears to be a pile of dust once this occurs. Presumably, you've sold your soul to the devil or something.
Imagine what Clem could achieve.
Also rolled a 6. So.
Imagine what Clem could achieve if Clem was drinking pista sherbet before every fight.
Yes. Most is the secret of Clem's energy.
Yes. So, I think what happens, Mushfik, is that like you aim to punch him and he would dodge out of the way, except that Clem has the pistol, so he backs into the pistol and is held still. And then Mona like prods the spear at him and just like holds him in place with the spear drill thing, and then you sock him in the face and he goes down like a tree. And he is disarmed. He's not like unconscious, I think, but he is definitely beaten.
Yeah. Okay. Bidrohi, get over here so we can have our final words to this man before we send him off.
Hello, Sher-e-Khattam.
I thought we were going to treat him.
Huh?
Hello, Sher-e-Khattam. How did you know I was here already?
I knew you'd be here because you never miss an important plot point.
This isn't a opera.
Baldmerad says, also, we heard you arguing with that guy on the ladder. So.
Okay, so this is Jasper. And I give him a kick.
I think it's nice that he's lying down on the floor and the statue of him is maybe just in the background behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's got 8 packs.
It's got 8 packs, and Mushfik looks at it and goes, so this is what the blood of my people and the smoke of the ancestor trees has paid for. Is it?
He spits blood and he goes, fat lot of good you did with it.
What does he mean by that? Fat lot of good we did with...
You know,
you
weren't
being alive. Being alive.
Using it.
You weren't using it, yeah. You weren't doing your people any good with it. It's his honest opinion, I think.
Okay. I don't think we're going to respond to that. And he looks at Jasper and he goes, do you know who I am?
You're the tiger. Yeah, I know you.
Yeah. Then you know what's coming.
Yeah, I think even now he's like looking for a way out. Because this is just the kind of person he is, right? He's not gonna surrender. His like eyes dart around looking for a weapon, something he can use, looking for his men coming in. And you can see that he is not accepting this fate. He may know it on some level, but he's not accepting it.
We're doing classic good cop, bad cop. I will give you a way out. Where is all your money?
Yeah, he laughs at that. I think there's a chuckle. And he says, right, so much for Kethrys' honor.
Oh, no, you misunderstand us. We're going to take your money either way.
Sher-e-Khattam, I'm trying to do something here.
I think as you say that, like, again, he's a stubborn man, and he's not giving up. I think he just lunges at you as you say that. Like, we're going to take it anyway. He goes like, well, then there's no reason for me to negotiate. And he's just going to, like, swing at you with his bare fist. It's not going to work.
His fucking neck?
You can snap his neck. Yeah.
Clem just goes, okay.
Oh, Can I? Is it a resistance roll if I want to stop him?
Do you have reflexes or something?
Me? No, I don't. But I mean,
yeah. I mean, you can do something first before the neck is snapped. I'm not gonna you can say something to him, or like grab his fist as he throws a punch,
Yeah.
and speak to him first.
Unless Clem really wanted to just kill him right now. In which case, probably a discussion.
Yeah, probably a discussion. Clem?
You want to just kill him right now?
It's only if you're not doing something, because I
Well,
think
I was gonna
Clem's
kill him right now.
immediate response would be,
Oh, no. What I was going to do is
it.
kill him right now.
I think it's beautiful if the two of you both kill him right now.
Yeah, I think so, right? So
Yeah.
Mushfik stabs him in the heart as Clem snaps his
I
neck.
think what could happen is, okay, so he aims for the punch, Mushfik catches his fist in the prosthetic arm, and he says, I, Sher-e-Khattam, acting commander of the Kethrys militia in Uduasha, and there's just only one of them, and that's him.
Acting commander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't you just elect yourself commander?
Yeah. No, I mean, he's the only one left.
Yeah, acting, because he hasn't been
acting,
formally promoted. Yeah.
And we have established that Sher-e-Khattam has amazing physical acting.
Yes.
Sentence you to death.
Yeah. And then
Sher-e-Khattam, I think he might be dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
very good that I sentenced him then.
yes. Murad goes, it's only proper.
Yeah. Otherwise, that'd be murder Bidrohi. We don't do that.
And then the bees start showing up, I think.
Yeah.
And I think
No,
we're like, okay.
Okay.
Let's.
Here is where I think you can cash in your favor from the Fursan, because it hasn't yet come into use. And I think I thought about it, and there are two ways we can spin it. Either it can be cashed in for just less heat. It could have been used to prevent like suitable consequences during the score, but none came up. You can use it to prevent heat. I think another reasonable way it can be used, right, is the Fursan are going to lock down this crime scene. And you have suitably bribed and impressed them that they are going to not lock down this crime scene to certain members of the Kethrys community, because it turns out you have heritage items in here. So what I'm saying is you can cash this in for extra money in a way that doesn't involve just carrying off everything right now.
Nice.
Right? Just being like,
that's really good.
you're inheriting this guy.
Sounds like
When
a
we
good
also
idea.
need to negotiate with Omid a little bit, because if we want Omid to continue running this, what's left of this gang, we need to leave him something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Of course, but I think it's more logical, right, that you frame it this way rather than just. I mean, obviously, you're also stealing a bunch of stuff that isn't nailed down right now. But I think for more cash, it makes sense to have the paperwork to go like, yeah, these are Kethrys artifacts. They're being returned to the Kethrys community because this guy had no heirs. So
yeah, and it all comes together because like then we can prevent Omid from like keeping a whole bunch of really good stuff for himself because we have like the paperwork, and also it means we can come back to negotiate and make sure things. There's one last thing I wanted to do in this scene, but other people can do things first. I think Sher-e-Khattam just had this big moment. I think is he reacting at all, or is he just kind of chill with it?
In terms of killing Jasper?
Yeah.
I think, as Jasper, slinks to the floor in a puddle of his own blood. Right. I don't think Sher-e-Khattam reacts much, outwardly. Just looks at one final look, wipes his sword on whatever, I don't know, this jacuzzi, there's towels around. And I just walks off without another word because that's what cool people do.
I have one other thing to add from the cohort, actually, just to spotlight them. The pilot is not here; she's paralyzed downstairs. Mona Darling is distracted with this man. Pejal is excited. I think it's Bald Murad who comes to the rescue for once, because he is more perceptive than he puts on. So we see Bald Murad stand up, look away from the corpse, and look into the living room that was right next to this panic room. And he is going to lay his eyes on a large set with silverware table. And he's going to realize what it's made of.
Oh, shit.
And this is one of the heritage items that Bald Murad is going to make damn sure that Saeeda gets a hold of.
Nice. Okay.
Because we haven't seen Saeeda's hunt for the trees that got turned into furniture, and I think this is an excellent point to bring that back.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's great. Okay. Is there something Clem wanted to do before I do my thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Feel free.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we're on the same track. If not, so yeah.
Oh, I'd be very surprised, but very gratified
Okay,
if we were.
No, go ahead. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm going to find the phone.
Yeah, it's in the panic room. It's a small tin telephone. It connects probably only to the Lord Governor, so it's not like you really like dial it.
Are you going to?
Hey, sibling Clem, how do these things work?
Are you going to do a prank call?
Sort of.
Yeah.
How do these things work, sibling Clem?
Is it a rotary dial phone?
I guess
I
so.
don't
I
know.
don't even think you need to dial it, but
Do I just
actually, I think this is an old enough phone that this is not a rotary dial phone. This is one of the ones where you just lift it and go operator. Right.
Yeah. So what happens when I put the earpiece to my head and I hold the thing up the way Clem shows me? Is there like a does someone
I
just
think
pick up?
so. I don't know how much Akorosi Bidrohi speaks, but I think what you hear on the other end is a polite Lord Governor's office from one of his secretaries.
Hello, I'm speaking from Jasper's panic room of Jasper's JLC's important. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, ask them if the refrigerator is running.
Okay. This is important call asking about refrigerator and also is Lord Governor there? This is very important.
Yeah.
Jasper's
One moment.
panic room.
Yeah. And again, this is old-fashioned telephone technology. So one moment is actually kind of a long time as this secretary physically finds the governor and moves him to the one room in his house with a telephone. But he does
Amazing
arrive.
Technology.
Yeah, he does arrive, and you hear a voice from the other end. What have we established about the Lord Governor? He's a hunter.
He's got a few tags. Let me really quickly dig them up. Yeah, so Lord Governor Pietro Gustapi, said to be a harmless man who whiles away his tremendous free time hunting with the silver nails. His tags are sporty, incompetent, and crackshot.
Yeah, sporty, incompetent, and crackshot. Very good. So you hear on the other end hello there.
Hello, is this Lord Governor Pietro Gustapi?
Yes, the very same.
Sorry for the speaking in the Hadrati. My accuracy is not very good. I'm speaking from Jasper's what do you call it? The panic room. You know Jasper,
Yes.
right?
I'm aware. Who is this?
My name is Bidrohi Khattam. I am one of the Rising Moon Swords people who are from the Kethrys district, and we have just killed Jasper. And I want you to know that Akaros should keep its hands away from Kethrys. Also, this guy really sucked, okay? You need better taste in friends.
Yeah, I think you hear as he turns away from the receiver, you hear faintly Agnes, call the Fusang immediately. And, I mean, you have just gone we murdered your friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he says anything else to you. I think he just tries to get law enforcement to you as quickly as possible, unless you say anything else to him.
Yeah, and I keep speaking for a while because I don't understand how phones work.
Yeah.
And until I don't know, Clem says you can hang up or something.
Yes.
And what fix says? Did they say anything about the refrigerator?
I did say the thing about the refrigerator. What is a refrigerator?
It's you wouldn't know about this stuff, would you, Bidrohi? It's to preserve food.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Murad, meanwhile.
So I've heard.
Clem, you had a thing too.
Oh yeah. We mentioned out of character potentially having a flag. I've got some more
yes.
left.
The flag raised over there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
I forgot about that actually.
See?
You have made the flag, the heraldry, yes?
Yeah. And
surprise heraldry.
Yeah. Surprise
heraldry.
Deus Ex heraldry. I think I think this is something Mushfig might have mentioned that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think Clem pulls it out and says, "You mentioned that you wanted to wave the Kethrys flag over Jasper's dead body."
Describe the flag.
Should we paint the scene about it, or
Yeah,
do you want to do it all on your
I'd
own?
like to frame this as a flashback because Clem has used the wax cylinders to create recordings of what each member of the Kethrys community they know, potentially Bidrohi, Saeeda, and Mushfig as well, to imbue in the flag. It's their heraldry. And that's I'd like that to be my one such work passed down my lineage already.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Craft or invent something using Severosi ancestral steed or herald work. You have +1 result level. Yeah, awesome. So you have made a special heraldic design, and it is the flag of Kethrys. Wonderful.
It's important that this is not the one that already exists for the Sublime Republic of Kethrys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I'd like to invite the other PCs to say what they would have told Clem.
I know what I would have told Clem, which is that the heraldry of the Sublime Republic as it used to be was something that happened like over many years, right? And like it changed over the years, and it reflected something that like by the end didn't even really exist. Like the symbols on the flag really only meant the Sublime Republic. They didn't refer to anything in reality. So I think I would have told Clem that the flag, what is on the flag, doesn't matter as much as the flag being something that people who are now Kethrys recognize as being Kethrys.
I think then Bidrohi's suggestions for things to put on the flag. And I'm wondering if this is like a surprise that you're actually making this. Maybe we didn't think that this was an actual thing. Maybe we're just like, I don't know. It's up to you, but like, maybe...
It could be that... Sorry, I was going to say, it could be that Clem was just asking about Kethrys without saying that they were going to make this.
I think it's really nice if it's a surprise.
Yeah.
So I think the things that Bidrohi would have said is that I think the others are like going to talk about like trees and so on, but like I guess they should be there. Of course, I mean, no, they should be there, but like, you know me, Sibling Clem, that's not something I have much relation with. I think like for me, when I think about Kethrys, like I think about the things that like are all about like, life around me. The Kethrys that I see, right? So I think it would have to be like, there should be the sickle. It should be like big sickle. And I know sometimes it's a little bit of a joke, but like the bananas are very important. Like, I don't know, maybe like sickle cutting off like big bunch of bananas, something like that. Like, have you seen like the Sublime Republic's heraldry? It's like really gaudy. There's like these big gates that like show like the the path to the city, and like these big trees, like gigantic. It's like that's like so fancy and fancy schmancy and all that. But like Kethrys is all about like just a bunch of guys with sickles cutting down bananas. That's beautiful, I think. They just need better style while they do it, but that's beautiful.
And that's where you come in.
And I think Bidrohi just gives a big smile. So I preempted Sher-e-Khattam's suggestion of bananas, so let's see what he's got.
I think Sher-e-Khattam says, so we mentioned way back when this the trees, because they kind of have a glow to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and so Bushvig mentions the glow of the underside of the tree and the reflection in the water because it's a marshy place, right? Just he talks about the reflection of the glowing trees on a still, like on over the still waters of a lake or something, where it looks like another starry sky.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, Clem. Put it all together.
Put it all together. I think it includes the shreds of the cloak that Bidrohi, that Clem gave Bidrohi. And I'm not going to describe the design because I don't think it's my or Clem's place to do that. But
No, you should. I think you should. But it's up to you. Mm-hmm.
Clem's going to look Mushfik in the eyes and give it to him. So
nice.
So
as acting commander of the 75th Severossi Battalion of the Thorn Marches, the flag.
I think Mushfik is genuinely going to be like at a loss for words, like because it's such a nice gesture. He genuinely does not know what to say. It's just. I think he opens and closes his mouth a few times before just simply saying, "Thank you." All right, and so we want to hang this flag, I think, way up high. Right?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a tall building, so it's possible to hang the flag high up in Pasarhantu.
Sher-e-Khattam. Badass idea. May I?
Of course.
Hang glider. Rope.
Yes.
Kite.
Yeah.
Flag kite.
Okay.
Flag kite
yes. From a rope. Yeah, caught in the updraft from the well, of course. Held up. Your flag flies high over the building, and I think that is where we must close the session because I'm quite out of time. Let us quickly do payoff and then XP.
Yeah, we went really off way beyond 10.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes. So, you gain 3 rep because he's 1 tier higher. So, that gives you 2 spillover and you max out. You also, let's not faff about here, gain 12 coin.
Nice.
Which means you can spend 4 coin to tier up here, effectively, because you need 16 to tier up, and you get 12.
Yeah.
So,
I see. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we should.
Nice. If you spend 4 coin
left,
then you have a tier and 2 extra rep. So let's just adjust that now.
Okay.
We'll talk about what this means next session, but...
Done.
Yeah. Your hold is weak, your tier is 2, your rep is 2, and you have not that much coin left, but you have invested it in yourself, and you are more established. However,
nice.
Assuming that we are... there's quite a lot of heat also coming off of this. So, I think it's loud and chaotic, high exposure. Like, there was a public poisoning, there was a guy exploding in the street. So, not wild and devastating. It's not wild and devastating, because it was mostly contained to the buildings in question, but...
Yeah, and now there's a big flag of a country that doesn't exist flying over Udwasha.
Yeah. I don't think it's quite wild and devastating, but it's definitely loud. So, 4 heat base. Killing was involved, so that's 2 more.
Okay.
It is a high profile and well connected target, and it did happen on hostile turf, so it's a total of 8 heat.
So another one to double?
Well, -2 heat because of noble privileges.
Yeah. So I think that just about keeps you from a wanted level. Yes. So you are just about safe from a wanted level.
Well, actually, we should have taken -1 heat during downtime for the last one. We didn't do that. So
okay.
Yeah. But like we still have this one. Because we are not in downtime yet, and I say this is important because we're going to roll entanglement.
Yeah. All right. So that's your heat. I don't think there's any more heat attached to this. You avoided most of the other. Well, actually, there were firearms, which we have said. There's 2 heat for that.
Oh,
1 heat.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's 1. You're right.
Okay.
I think. So yeah, quite a lot of heat. And then we roll the entanglements. I'll just go ahead and do that. You are approaching a 3rd wanted level. And it's a 5 and a 5. Which is on heat 6+, demonic notice or show of force. Yeah, the demon houses are going to take an interest in you as you tier up. I don't think there's any way around it.
Okay.
And let's be real, somebody did ring the Lord Governor, so...
Yeah. I think demonic notice makes perfect sense here. The demon houses are taking much more active interest in you. And I think you have made your peace with Anixis, so maybe it will not be your old friend Pus of Ixis this time. We'll see. I'll think about it.
I think it makes sense for Ankuset because,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you're getting involved with all of the houses now, but you're getting important enough for it. And we'll spend some time next session looking into what tearing up means. But we are out of time, so now let's go to XP and try to wrap it up. Here close the doors to the House of Endings. Those who dwell within are Zoheb, called Klow, Aadiyat, called Soap, Symmetry, called Tree, and Salty. I have been Prince, your host. Our city of Uduasha is based on Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions, with special thanks to Johnstone Metzger. Follow us on Twitter or support us on kofi.com/desperateattune. If you want to engage further with us, we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/desperateattune, where you will get our newsletter, extra content, and updates from Uduasha. The next time on Desperate Attune, the golem is exclusively used as the personal carrier for actual demons or demon aspects of the house.
Oh
In
no!
this case, there's a rock on it, but this is the carrier that, like, if the Pus of Ixis were prone to traveling in style, it would ride on one of these, right? It's just not.
Are people like bowing and so on? And like,
Oh yeah, like there's people first they panic because of the building inspection, and then they realize what is going on, and there is some extent of bowing and scraping.
Yeah. Well, might as well join.